dim lit chandeliers glow. We'll sip our worries away, nice and slow. Your laughter ripples like sweet warm wine. In this jazzy sultry space you're mine. The saxophone croons a velvet tune, while melodies dance beneath the moon. We'll toast to moments both grand and small, in this hazy, lazy, jazz-touched hall. Let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you. Your eyes, they sparkle with every click. Sweet rendezvous over a simple drink. We'll share our secrets in whispers low, just you and me where the jazz flows slow. The world outside fades into the mist, but here it's our own dreamy tryst. With each sip our worries drift away. Let's stay together till the break of day. So let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you.
The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
Growing up in Generation X. Can you dig it, man? Groovy, totally tubular. Or perhaps it was a total drag, gnarly, gag me with a spoon. Okay, full confession, I've never been a big one for slang, even as a kid, so I don't think I can keep the bit up. But you get the idea. We talk a lot about nostalgia here. I guess you do that when you get old. We've talked about film and music and games. We may do some of that today, but mainly we'll share with you what it was like growing up in the late 60s to early 80s. Some of you can relate. The rest of you may have a better understanding of how we got this way. So buckle up, top off your glasses, tell me what you're sipping on in the chat, and we'll roll out this Canarble Wagon right now.
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
Salud and welcome. Welcome to the place where the panel was raised on hose water and neglect. At least that's what they say about Generation X. And I think there's some truth to that. Maybe a trigger warning for some of you that are easily offended. We are going to be talking in sweeping generalizations about whole generations of people. This is based on, some behavioral studies and stuff, but take it with a grain of salt. We'll give our opinions, but anyway. You can see how low the Jameson is getting because you can see where the frost line ends. But I'm sipping on some right now. Since I'm on the new platform, I haven't been able to pull in any of the little memes yet. I gotta locate my Nona Wolf Glenn Gooley bit, but that will come. I'm getting much more comfortable with this platform, so I'm happy with it. So let's bring in my much better half, Netter of Nerds Network. How you doing, my dear? And what are you sipping on?
I'm doing okay because it's Friday and I was literally able to clear all my work. So I have nothing to go back to on Monday.
You have no alcohol.
No, because you didn't make me orange juice so I can have my thing. So
damn.
It's fine. I will eventually go upstairs and get me something.
Okay.
But right now I am sipping on my very last can of my Meyer brand sparkling water berry because, well, we haven't been shopping. And so it's like, this is my last can. But I will be making a Netter's Nectar when after we introduce everybody, say hi
after the intros and stuff. Yeah. In other words, when the boys start yapping, she's gonna go make herself a drink. Yeah, and I can't say as I blame her speaking.
Like I say, maybe I'll need one. I mean, especially if you start saying radical and totally tubular during this thing.
Exactly.
And like you were saying in the intro, I never used any of that stuff. I thought it sounded stupid. I mean, sorry, but I did.
Yep. And speaking of the boys, there's the other one. Age of Boomer, how you doing, my friend? And what are you sipping on?
I'm doing okay. I am sipping on a Swiss Miss hot chocolate.
Okay, that's fair.
That's different.
Fair. You working tomorrow?
No, fortunately not. So that gives me time to work on stuff this weekend. But
yeah, no, go ahead. I didn't mean to
I think I clicked on Pro Scenes earlier, and I'm like, does that mess up the window when I do that?
Every time you pulled down Pro Scenes, you pulled me out of the out of the dynamic scene for playing the opening. So
okay, but
that's okay. We'll figure it out like we did last time when we get ready to go into it.
All right.
Follow up on the drink. It burns. This one today it kind of burns, and I guess when the burning goes in, the sorrow has to go somewhere else, right? I was just
poop.
Huh?
Does that mean you got to poop?
No, not that. Not that. I was telling Boomer behind the scenes, not to get into what's been going on personally with me, but something challenging was happening this week, and I really need this right now. So, but what I also really need to do is say hi to all of you in the chat. Let me go back to the beginning. First one that's showing up. I know that there was some people here earlier.
Connie was the first one.
Well, actually, there was someone here earlier, and he fell off. It was your guest from last night, Chance.
Oh.
Welcome, Connie. It's good to see you.
Well, maybe he'll come back.
I hope so. That's how I responded. I said, I hope you can make it back for the live show. And of course, Netter, I love you too, my dear. You are beautiful.
Je t'aime, mon amour.
You're beautiful, so I have something nice to look at. Sorry. And Curtis Selby, welcome, my friend. Good to see you as well as JPRPH1, dropping the membership emojis, the Canarble Wagon, the fedora, the logo, and the brown mumbler. That's what I should have had today, a brown mumbler. It would have cut the burning a little bit. Mark Dahley, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. And I thought, there we go. David Pensack, welcome, my friend. He says, good evening to you. Yeah, that's raised on hose water and neglect. Yeah, the way the font goes, it looks like the word's cut off there.
Everyone used to drink water out of a hose back in the day.
Yeah, that one I can definitely attest to. Although I don't think that was unique to our generation. But you're right. Later generations, probably not so much.
They're drinking Perrier and filtered water, probably.
They were raised on hose. Okay.
I'm just saying.
There's that possibility, too. Let's see. We have a big L raid. Thank you for being here, my friend. Matt Anui says hi. And Who am I missing? Here? Wow, you guys are just chatting up a storm, aren't you? Space Fraggle, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Yes, this was the one I was looking for. Mark said that he doesn't need a drink tonight. Dennis gave him the good drugs for his cracked tooth. Root canal on Monday. Hoping for a cap instead of a bridge. Then it's one check instead of two. Like, yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Now, here's the thing. I've had 2 root canals. And I've heard people give such horror stories about, oh, they're really painful. And da-da. No, they're really not. I mean, first of all, you're all numb. And second, it's like, I mean, you have to hold your mouth open longer than, just doing a filling. But you don't feel anything. And they take out the root. So you don't feel anything. It's like, and I do not like pain. I mean, I can tolerate pain. I've got a pretty high pain tolerance. But it's like, if I feel even a twinge for my teeth, I get really sensitive with my teeth. So if I feel a twinge, it's like, I'm going to feel a twinge. Both root canals, no issues. Never felt anything.
Yep. David Pensack's getting into the spirit there. Let's see. Samuel Procter says, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that last slang you just did there, Troy. What was the last one I did? I just said radical, but you would have typed this before I said that. Tubular? Gag me with a spoon? Was that the one? And welcome, Deleted Scenes. Thank you for being here. He was, I believe you were co-hosting over on the Films with Friends.
Yep.
The memories of the smell of the mimeograph copies. Oh, that's true. I remember that.
I love the smell of that.
Those were incredible. Yes. They had that weird blue ink on them, or purple ink, was it?
Purplish, yeah.
I remember those.
I think technically it was indigo, but...
And the pages, no matter how long they sat, always felt cold.
Cold and a little bit cool. Yeah, exactly.
They didn't have the photocopier yet at the schools.
I remember the first time we got photocopied ones and we'd smell it and we were like, no, that's no fun. And welcome again to Connie. Good to see you. Samuel says, I was interviewing my grandma for her life story. It was great, but when I got to the part where I asked questions about her parenting my dad, aunts, and uncles, it was short and went on tangents. Yeah, I can imagine. She's probably got a lot of stories, which matches how my dad, Gen X, describes his childhood. Get out of the house until dark. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. You guys are talking, you're talking teeth there. I get you. And welcome, Evelyn. Sipping on ice water. Fair enough. I think, Evelyn, not to dox your age or anything like that, but I think that unlike this guy down here, you could technically lay claim to the generation of boomer, couldn't you? I think Gen X. When does Gen X start, Boomer? You've done the research.
Well, you sent me the flyer thing, but I believe that Gen X starts. Hold on, now I got to look it up.
Like late 60s,
hold on.
right?
I got this.
Thank you.
The greatest generation, apparently, is 1901 to 1924. The silent generation, 1925 to 1945. Baby boomers, 1946 to 1964. So apparently I'm a boomer. Generation X, 65 to 80. Millennials are 81 to 96. Gen Z, 97 to 2012. Okay, I haven't even heard of some of these. Generation Alpha is 2013 to 2022.
Yeah, that's the current.
They're done now.
Yeah,
They're done.
Generation Beta is 2025, so current year to 2039.
Jeez, man.
I'd hate to be a beta.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm not sure how they calculate these generation cutoffs, but
so that means that you and Boomer are Gen X, And I'm a baby boomer.
And
I'm a boomer.
welcome,
We may have some
Gary.
questions for you, Netter.
Welcome, Gary Ambrosia. So glad to see you here, my friend. Looking forward to, now that we've met virtually and we've hung out on streams together, looking forward to meeting you face to face so I can shake your hand in Florida for MegaCon. That is going to be a lot of fun, my friend. I'm really, really looking forward to that. This is my third time through this root canal. Gosh, man, brush your teeth. I don't know.
No, that's not always the trick.
No, I
You
know.
just
I
get
know.
them. All right.
That's true too. Yeah.
One of the last comments, Clue was saying, "Netter's a boomer." Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing is, I'm more savvy than most boomers.
That's true. Well, you're tail end of boomer, so
yeah, that's true.
Salute, Clue Studio. Yes, welcome. Mark Melnikoff, Kapla. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see here. Trying to go quickly here.
Did you say hello to Final Fantasy fan 12?
I don't think so. I haven't seen Final Fantasy fan here.
Right now, it's the very last comment.
Yes, it is. I thought every generation was 25 years. Apparently, people now calculate generations of humans as generations for video game consoles.
People far more important than us, Netter. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I thought, they figure. I'll tell you what it is. The way they calculate generations, at least the way they've historically calculated it, is they figure at what average age does a generation or what age does an average person have children, right? You can technically have, legally speaking, you can have children from anywhere from 18 on, right? But most people settle down and have kids, whatever, 25. I think 25 is what they're going with. So that's what they're thinking. But they're giving a range, right? Because they also know that people sometimes don't have children until a little bit later, in their 30s. So that's what they're talking about. But so I was under the impression, and again, any number of different outlets may calculate where the generation cutoff is a little bit differently, right? So, I had always assumed that all three of us here on the panel were Generation X. I did think that Netter was a little bit closer to the beginning of Generation X, and I was a little closer to the end, but I guess the cutoff that she was just seeing puts her in the previous generation, which would be the end of the boomer generation. So, not going too far back, you always hear them talk about the greatest generation being the generation that fought and won World War II, got us through the Great Depression, global economic downturn at that time. And actually, we generally think in terms of World War II, but a lot of them saw two world wars, World War I and World War II. There were actually some boys that were just the right age to serve in both wars. Yeah, not even kidding about that. Oh, thank you so much, Geek Flag with Nate Knows. Welcome, my friend. Have an awesome night, Troy Netter Boomer. I'm sick as two dogs, so I'll see you cool cats tomorrow. Catch us on the rerun. Thank you so much for sponsoring the stream tonight. You are a godsend. You absolutely are.
Feel better, sweetie.
The baby boomers are named for the high birth numbers. Then they started doing letters starting with X. Yeah, so that's what I was kind of leading up to. After World War II, you had a whole generation of boys coming home from the war. And when you've been at war and you've seen all that much death, all you want to do is live. And so they got about making babies and making more life. And they did a lot of it. As soon as they got home, the girls that, kept the home fires burning probably felt some burning. So amen to that. And that's where, Generation X's parents came from. So you'd go to your grandparents to ask about World War II, and then you'd talk to mom and dad about, hey, what was it like growing up in the 50s?
Right.
All that. So, and you guys have heard me talk about this too. When we'd go to see Back to the Future, whatever that was. Well, Back to the Future, Happy Days was on TV, American Graffiti. This was all nostalgia for our parents' generation, right? And then we start getting into Generation X when they started having their kids. Let me see. Guys saying hi to each other. X still sounds cooler. Yeah. And I think that's the interesting thing, right? The greatest generation, we call them the greatest generation because they fought the world wars, right? They got us through the worst economic times. They had things rough. From all the successive generations, if you pay attention to your history and you're honest, our grandparents had it tougher than we did. Absolutely. Then the baby boomers, that stems directly from them talking about how massive birth rates suddenly right after, right after the soldiers came home. Well, it's pretty obvious. You had a baby boom, you're the baby boomers. You're the babies that boomed. But then, what do you call the next generation? There wasn't anything. What?
I was going to say my parents had most of their kids in the 50s. I came in the 60s.
Yeah. You were definitely the end of that trend. And then what do we call us? The disco generation? The the wide lapels and shoulder pads generation? No. They had no good name for us. So they just called us Generation X. But then once you do that, now you set a trend, right? The obvious next one is Generation Y, Generation Z, Generation Alpha, Generation Beta. What else are you going to do, right?
What will the C stand for?
Next Tuesday. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
They'll
wear it as a badge of honor.
Exactly right.
Oh.
Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon.
F you.
I forget. Yeah, right.
F all you old people. By then I'll probably be out dead. So that'll be great. The Generation F can go yell at the Zoomers. That'll be fine. Anyway,
why are we doing Greek? We could do, international. What would be Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot. You get the idea.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead and load up your.
All right, I'm going to see if I did it right. Hopefully, I don't mess anything up.
You guys will all still. Let me do this. Guys, are you hearing us at all? Because you should be. Let me know. Can I get a 5x5? And what I mean is, can you hear me? Were you hearing me before I pop my face back in? Yes, you can hear and see me, but like Samuel said, we're back. But my question was, were you hearing us all along? Okay, I need a little bit more to go on. You're saying yes, no. That could go either way. I just came back and no audio before. See, this is what I'm talking about. Thank you, Big Al. That's what I was trying to get at. I think we still need to be added to the thing, though, for us to be heard. Okay, and are you in there? And
there we go. Can they all hear me now? Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. Where am I?
I don't know. I don't think you're here yet.
And there's Netter. Okay, well, I'm going to shrink you guys down.
Shrink us down.
Taking up the whole... Oh, you know what? I should be able to... There we go. Yeah, I should be able to shrink that a little bit.
Look at that.
Get you kind of out of the way.
Just kick me off.
Where am I? Oh, I'm big, huge head. That's not what we want. Okay, wait a minute. No. That's just bad. That's nobody wants to see my face that big.
Well, you never know. I'm sure Netter wouldn't mind it, huh?
No, she likes the lights off.
Be like the big talking head on Big Rock from the Sun, right? Remember that?
Right, there you go.
Look at this.
I get to sit next to Big Al Presents.
Yes, you do. And
Generation X, what it meant.
There we go. Actually,
don't ask me what it meant. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I figure we will figure it out during the stream.
Take that out, and then we can rearrange a little bit. There we go. Getting used to this, folks. I'll get this figured out. We'll get this all figured out. Trust me.
All right. Look at that. Nice little presentation. Part 1 of 3, but we'll scroll through it. Can I actually do this? All right, let's move along. This is that little thing you sent me.
Talking about
what on earth? Now, here's the interesting thing. You kept bringing up boomer parents. My parents actually are not baby boomers. They are silent generation.
I never heard of silent generation before.
Okay, well, they were children during the Great Depression.
I personally think anyone before baby boomer is greatest generation. Forget it.
No, because you're a child. So, like, if you were my father was born in the mid 1930s. He was considered silent generation, but it wasn't after the war yet. Do you understand? But he was still a child. Like, he couldn't go off. I mean, he remembered when Pearl Harbor was bombed. He remembered that when that event happened. But it's basically the baby boom happens after the war. Yeah. These were people. My mother was born during the war years, so.
So based on this calculation, then greatest generation was World War I, and silent generation was World War II?
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. This is why I say this silent generation is something they made up. It's made up bull crap. It's greatest generation.
I've known about that for years. Anyway, point is that, my parents weren't baby boomers. So I don't know if I did have cousins who were baby boomers, and I figured that brings us to our first category tonight, which is...
Go ahead.
I'm moving, sorry. Baby boomers. We were the first generation to deal with the baby boomers.
Yes.
Did you have an impression of them? I know that there was this big mythical media thing about the baby boomers. I'm not here to attack or praise. I'm just here to bring about...
I will say this. Clue Channel said this. Boomers were the selfish generation. They came up with don't listen to anyone over 30. That is true. Based on this, the boomer, and that's true. My understanding of boomer is they're the generation of the counterculture, the hippies, exactly. But here's the irony. This was the counterculture, and I feel like right now, Generation X And even some of the successive generations are starting to come around to some of their way of thinking. Who would have thought that I would be embracing a Kennedy, in my old age? And I'm starting to realize that some of the conservative values that I thought I had was wrong. I should have listened to the hippies who were saying, don't trust the establishment. They were right, as it turns out.
Now, to be fair, this is all media. For instance, it makes it out like all the hippies were necessarily part of the anti-war movement, part of the counterculture. I think a lot of them were just doing their own thing.
I know you're not.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I want to say hi quick to I see I'm getting all because of the drinking here. I want to say hi to Michael French from Retro Blasting. Michael, if Netter were to send you a link, would you be willing to join us even just for a little while? Because we are talking about some generational thing. I thought about you earlier today as we were getting ready to do this. I'm like, I bet this is one that Michael would have something to contribute to. I know you've been super busy though. But if you wanted to pop in real quick, Netter could shoot you that the link to tonight's stream. Love to have you.
Is that Woodstock? Is that Altamont?
So I take that as a yes. So Netter, if you could forward that to him, he's on
X.
She's going to shoot it to you on X if you don't mind. And real quick, I'm always afraid of thumbing through that book about Woodstock because I'm afraid, although I know my mom wasn't there, but I still worry that there might be, someone from her generation, a relative there, and I don't want to see that much of some of my relatives. It took me a long time to turn that corner. Being a boomer, looking back, I feel like we were lied to at times. Yeah, I kind of red pilled you, but I feel like I'm getting red pilled as we go too. And ironically, red pilling now means starting to agree with some of the stuff the hippies were talking about.
I sent it, Michael.
The boomers was the first generation growing up World War II. There's a theory I find fascinating that every successive generation after the boomers are just more extreme versions of the boomers. I understand why you say that, and there might be something to that, but Mark Dahley says hippies were a small part of boomers, but they took over the schools, colleges, and media and wrecked Gen Y. That is an excellent point, because on the one hand, don't trust the establishment, peace. I used to be a huge hawk. Now, this whole military-industrial complex that the hippies used to talk about, I'm starting to see it. I get it now. And I also see the result of all of our wars in foreign countries and what it has done to us here and what it has done there too. We have not succeeded in doing what we set out to do, right? The war on terror, right? We're going to fight the war on terror, and we're going to bring democracy to the Middle East. Did you ever ask the Middle East if they wanted our democracy? And what replaced what you drove out? It's just worse. And that's happened everywhere we've driven out some ruling power. It just makes it worse for us.
I remember Kevin Spacey had a bit in one of the Call of Duty games where he is giving this speech and he goes, "We have tried to create a democracy all over the world and it hasn't worked one time." That's what he says.
It's funny. Yeah. Evelyn said boomers had duck and cover drills at school, daily threat of atomic war from the USSR, and just 4 channels on a black and white television set. That's true. And now we're starting to think through building bunkers all the frick over again. And we're starting to realize, too, how much of that has to do with our own foreign policy and not just those evil, evil people over there, And Jesse Guajardo. Did I say hi to you earlier? I may not have seen you earlier, Jesse. Hey, Aged Boomer, when it comes to one of my great-great-grandmother, she was born during the 1820s and died in the year 1946. She was around to see Texas rise as a country part 2. There you go.
Wow. Impressive.
And welcome Wade of Real Wade Nation Gaming. We made the modern Middle East. He's not wrong. He's absolutely not wrong. And for all the people that are bitching and moaning about Israel and Gaza and blah 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 and this and that, maybe you need to go back and reread your World War II history and everything that happened since then. A lot of these people are either completely uninformed or terribly misinformed on one side or the other. Democracy doesn't work, period. That's just mob rule. It is a tool, right? You don't build a house with just a hammer, right? Right tool for the right job. Democracy is how we elect our representative officials, right? It's also how we control them so that we get them out, right? But all of it is constrained by the law of the land, the Constitution. You know, you don't need a constitution if you're going to be a pure democracy. That's not what we are. Sorry, guys. I do want to get through the comments so that I can let Boomer, Oh, part 2, Texas becoming a part of the Union, Civil War, Spanish-American War, the First World War, Second, and beginning of the Cold War. You know, Jesse, and all of this stuff I get from history books. If you didn't live through it and you don't have enough interest to read your history books. Wait, what's this Spanish-American War? We had fought a war with Spain? You know?
I want to say hello to Keebler Danger, no sugarcoating truth.
Okay,
he was
guys.
on my channel last night, and welcome back to my husband's channel.
Yes, thank you so much, Keebler Danger, no sugarcoating truth. I actually like saying that whole name. I may start resorting to calling you Keebler, but you are Keebler Danger, no sugarcoating truth. Let us invite in our awesome guest, Michael French of Retro Blasting. How you doing, my friend?
Michael!
Yes. And what are you sipping on, my friend?
Oh, I literally just got home from my parents' house, and Melinda's already getting ready for bed, and I'm actually not sipping on anything right now, so I apologize for that. But
no, don't apologize. I mean, at least stay hydrated.
Yeah.
You can cover me with him. You can move him over on top of mine.
Careful there. we'll do a little overlapping. How's that? There we go.
You could totally overlap me. It's fine.
Anyway, and Michael, I sent you a note on Patreon, but you've been pretty busy, so you may not have even gotten a chance to see it. Want to get you back on for that part 2 of that James Bond, because this guy here keeps getting on me about
Okay,
that.
Sure. So are we talking about the biggest generational group of hypocrites in existence? Cool. All right, let's do this.
Which one is that?
Oh, the boomers.
Because I was going to say that could apply to a number of us.
Well, in some ways, but in other ways, these are the worst. It's not. This wasn't a generation of revolution. This was a generation of their own individual selfish convenience. Is what this was.
But Michael, I'm a boomer.
Well,
remember, hold on. Let me. Okay, when we talk about generations, okay, at least when I'm going into discussions about generations. I interviewed a lot of war veterans in my time, and I knew a lot of war veterans that I didn't interview. And so we can call them the greatest generation because most of them made the sacrifices that we're aware of.
True.
But there were child molesters in the greatest generation who also fought in World War II. So what I'm saying with that, Netter, is that there are outliers, but generations are defined by a kind of general umbrella. There's a general bell curve of, whatever you want to call it. And with the boomers, the bell
real quick,
curve,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I know he doesn't stick around long. I want to thank Ruby Who for the gifted membership.
And it's mine.
That went to Netter. I don't want to have to start paying for a membership, so gifted memberships don't keep going to you. But I I don't even know what to do with that. But thank you so much for the support, Ruby Hoove. Super appreciate you. My membership list keeps growing because Ruby Hoove comes into every one of my streams and says, I'm gifting another membership. And it's like, and then I got to update my closing credits and all that. Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry, Michael. Go on. With
I'm just saying. So if we're defining these generations by their the generational average of what they're like. In other words, not every Gen Xer believes reality bites, but the Gen X experience is defined in a certain way, right? So we have a generation that prides itself on protesting the war in Vietnam, and then when they get in power, the first thing they do is send their kids off to Iraq to save money on gas. All right?
Yes, you kind of got a little ahead of where I was getting to, but thank you so much for that. Here's
another one. Here's another one. I'm gonna ship this till it sinks. Okay,
go for it.
Here's another one. They were the ones that wanted free love, and they wanted all the conveniences of a modern sexual lifestyle. And then they turned around and became parents, and that was too inconvenient for them raising their daughters. So they started pushing celibacy. We're anti-sex education. We're anti, all that stuff. So they did that. Same thing with drugs and rock and roll. It was like, oh, we want our drugs and we want our rock and roll. But then they became adults and they were like, oh no, war on drugs, illegalized drugs.
You're so right. Absolutely.
And also here's the big sticker for me. They grew up in a time that was established. They were born mostly in the late 40s into through the 50s, and they grew up under the benefits of the post-war Eisenhower America, where their parents had pensions and health care from companies cradle to grave, right? It was this whole idea of the American worker is the backbone of the country, and the system of capitalism supports all of us if we work honestly and hard, right?
Yeah.
So they grew up under full health care, full benefits, like they saw retirement pensions as a thing, and then they went into that system and got those things. They had the opportunity for the gold watch, the corner office, the pension, the good health care, all that stuff. But what did they do in the process? And what are they still doing as the leaders of those corporations? The last 30 years, they've said, you know what, though? If we eliminate the pensions, if we take away more and more healthcare benefits to our workers, we can pocket more of that money for ourselves.
You're right.
And so they destroyed the ladder that they climbed up that was established by their parents' generation to help all Americans. So what I'm saying to that is, and I'm not going to drop any kind of like expletive on your channel, but I'm just going to say the baby boomer generation writ large can sit under a guillotine facing the sky for all I care. Like, they're the biggest bunch of hypocrites to walk the modern earth. And with that, I will wait for Netter to kick me off the stream.
No.
If I let Troy stay on, I'm going to let you stay on.
Wait. Yeah, that's true. She hasn't kicked me off the stream. So, wait. Face the sky?
Well, they get guillotined. That's right. I want them to face the sky.
Oh, see it coming. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, I get it now.
But the baby boomers gave us some great entertainment, Michael. You have to admit this. I mean, the video game.
Are we really going to trade ability of our civilization for Star Wars? Is that what we're saying? Because as far as I'm concerned, we can throw Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader into the pit if we can get civilization stabilized again. Good God, man.
No. We're not. I don't think anyone's.
Put Jaws.
No, I'm just trying to say that, I'm trying. Look, it wasn't all bad.
Wait. Let's.
For them,
we got to take a step.
Who made all the money off that? Lucas, Spielberg, Coppola, while they were doing all those drugs and stuff, like they
sat on it,
and then they set up the production companies differently so that what happens now? oh, this is a work for hire thing,
Yep.
and you don't get any residuals and rights, and we pocket all that. Oh, and by the way, sorry, Toby Hooper, I'm going to direct Poltergeist up your rear end. Like
No, you're absolutely right. If I can back up for a second, while you were in transition, before you came into the stream, or before you came into the chat, and then while you were getting into the stream, one of the things I started the show with is the trigger warning or the disclaimer or whatever you want to call it, that we are going to be talking in generalizations. So if you fall into a generation, we make a sweeping generalization. Keep in mind that does not apply necessarily to every single person of that generation. We're talking in generalities, just deal with it.
If you have a generational loyalty like a sports team and you get mad because we point out something that is then guess what? You might want to do some self-reflection, because as an example, a lot of Gen Xers are defined as kids that, did a lot of drugs and fell out with their parents and stuff like that. I wasn't. I never did any drugs. I never fell out with my parents. So when I hear that, I don't get offended. I'm not like, hey, Team Gen X, like whatever. Like, yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I was going to say, when we get to actually talking about Gen X,
we're going to get there in a minute.
One of the things I was going to point out is one of the things that defines Gen X is, as my thumbnail said, drinking from the garden hose and being a latchkey kid. Well, I wasn't a latchkey kid. My mom was a traditional stay-at-home mom, but I do recognize I was in the minority. Many mothers of all of my friends were either second income, so my friend was a latchkey kid, or she was a single mom.
Right.
That was another thing. This Gen X is where we start seeing the single moms, and you can kind of blame the boomers for that.
Right. Well, the divorce rate went up a lot too.
Yes.
That's another thing.
Yes.
You got free love.
Hope I'm not roboting out. I did.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to bring up, though, but my point is I brought them up because, of course, Gen X was the first generation to have to deal with boomers as the older generation. And one thing I always noticed was, and maybe it was just my own experience with maybe boomers I knew in my life, is that they tended to not think they were younger than they actually were. I noticed that about them. I don't know if
that's
that
where
was
the whole concept of the I'm going to be a sexy grandma when you have kids kind of thing.
I've actually experienced the opposite, where they think they're going to live forever, and they think, that's where they're the generation that started saying, oh no, 60's the new 40 and 70's the new 40 and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, no, you guys getting old.
Well, that's what it is. They kept lowering the bar for how,
Right. The only boomers that I know that aren't old are Netter and, well, I guess Kylie Minogue's technically Gen X, so that doesn't count. There's one more, but I can't think of it. Yeah, the only boomer that I don't think that I know isn't old is Netter. That's the only one. The rest of them are.
Well, I was pointing out a little bit earlier that where the cutoff is seems to be arbitrary.
Yes.
And it depends on what source you're looking at.
Right.
I always knew Jenner. I always knew Netter to be Generation X, early Generation X.
Yeah.
But based on the research that Boomer did, she comes up as late.
But there's always arguments about those cusps. There's always these arguments.
Yeah.
I've even seen some charts that are like Gen X's late stage is like born in 1987. And I'm like, no, that's wrong. Like that is not correct.
That's really pushing.
Yeah. So I mean,
the other thing I need to point out, probably to my chat as much as to you, Michael, is normally I don't get super political. But I suppose there's really no way around it. We're going to get a little bit political about things here. And you generally don't get political either, but this is my channel, so you can do whatever you want.
I don't approach things politically. I approach things historically. And the thing is, I only talk about world events and facts. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say anything about, like, what your political party or affiliations or whatever that kind of crap is. I'm talking about this. When we're talking about history and socio-political history, where the political part doesn't really come into it. We're more talking about behavioral history. We're talking about what were the sweeping trends and everything like that went through culture at the time. And I'm not interested so much in, what these generations did or didn't do at the ballot box. I'm more interested in what these generations pushed for and did culturally. And that's right out there in the open for us to look at,
Yep. Oh,
See,
no, absolutely.
I've also got a market theory, Troy. I have a market theory that when you're talking about boomers, you really can't talk along party lines. You have to talk along generational lines.
The whole generation, yeah. Because a boomer could technically be either party or no party at all. But what I was saying before you got here was that, full disclosure, I don't think I've ever shared this with you, Michael, but growing up, when it came to politics, when I was in grade school, high school, especially high school, you know the character of Michael P. Keaton from Family Ties?
Very well.
That was me. I was solid conservative, Reagan, right. And the older and a hawk, and nation building and all that kind of stuff. Maybe something's changing for me in my old age, but I'm looking back and going, some of that hippie bullshit was right. Don't trust the government, right? What are we doing in these other countries? It's none of our business. It always turns out badly for us,
Yeah.
And I don't think that makes me a lefty. I don't think that makes me more the other side. I think I'm moving to the center, as I think everybody kind of should.
Right. No nation can survive in an extreme. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly right. And that's kind of what we're talking about on these generational things. We're talking about pendulum, right? We're talking about the greatest generation. I guess we're going to call them right? They fought a war against bad people. It was very cut and dry. The government is doing great, so let's trust the government.
Right.
The next generation says, no, wait a minute. That's a little bit extreme. Maybe the government isn't always right. Maybe them wiretapping and doing what they're doing and spying on everyone isn't such a good thing. And maybe all these wars aren't such a good idea either. Yeah, maybe that one particular one was a good idea, but what are you doing in all these other places? Let them decide for themselves. But
that was only because they were the ones getting drafted for it. That's my point.
Okay, I guess that's another generational thing. My opinion of the draft has changed a lot since I was a kid. Do you want to share your thoughts on the draft?
I'm not saying that I have thoughts for or against the draft. What I'm saying is they protested that war because they were the ones of age getting drafted to go, and they didn't want to go. Some of them didn't want to go because they felt it was a bad war. Some of them didn't want to go because they just flat out didn't want to go, and I can understand why.
Right.
But then when they became of age and they started running the country, suddenly it was, well, not only are we going to send a bunch of people over to start a war, we're going to start it on two fronts. And you know what? We don't have enough people because that draft thing is no longer in place. That's inconvenient. Hey, you know what we can do? Let's get the National Guard over there. Let's take the National Guard and put them over the and I'm sitting here and as a historian, I'm looking at this and I'm going, now wait a second. You guys didn't want to go. And guess what? There's no judgment from me on that. You had your reasons. But don't turn around and then send your own children off.
And it's even worse than that. And this is where I'm going to side a little bit with the boomers, at least at the time, what they were saying. This idea of, you can send us to war, but you're not going to send your children to war. And it's the same.
They did send their children to war. Because I'm the child of boomers. flat out boomers, both born in 50.
No. I'm talking about the boomers saying it to the greatest generation.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I wasn't clear about that.
Right.
This idea that we and it's true today.
Mm-hmm.
It's true today. This idea that we're going to go fight this war here, we're going to fight this war there. And you notice I'm specifically not mentioning any in particular, because whether you agree with a certain war or not doesn't matter. I'm being general here.
Yeah.
You can send my kids to war, but your kids aren't going to war.
Right.
You're not going to war. It's really easy to send other people's kids to war.
Right.
And that's kind of always been the case. And that's maybe the balancing act, right? I mean, some countries have this idea that everybody serves in the armed forces.
Right.
So everyone has a stake.
Right.
But this idea of, if we're going to have freedom, then we got to have choice, right? I got to be able to choose if I want to serve or not. I need to be able to choose bodily autonomy, right? I need to be able to choose what I do with, and that covers a whole bunch of things, a lot of political hotbeds, but it all comes down to everyone should have a choice to decide what happens with their life, their liberty, and their pursuit of happiness.
Right.
And to give the government the ability to make that decision for you, that's a problem. But this is why I tend to, I've kind of thrown out the concept of being conservative or liberal anymore. You know, I started out saying I was staunch conservative. Now I've moved to the middle. I think it's more, I've become more populist. I think the general public in their zeitgeist, kind of, whether they're left or right or, you know, whatever, has a tendency to be, how does this affect me? How does this affect my neighbor?
Right.
How does this affect this country? What the hell are we sending our money overseas for? What the hell are we sending our children overseas for? What are we getting out of this? I look at history and I see all these wars that we fought since World War II, and they've made things worse.
Yeah. Hey.
We drove out some bad people, and worse people came in.
Right.
And now they're the ones bombing us.
Yeah. Hot take. So, and I get into arguments about this with people inadvertently. I don't mean to.
I don't care if this stream gets demonetized.
It just happens. No, this isn't going to mean anything that's going to demonetize you.
No, I think I've said some stuff that'll get demonetized.
But here's the thing. Okay, so you know how a lot of Americans, they are afraid. I'm not qualifying what I'm about to say. I'm bringing it up so that I can then put the pins up and knock them down. Okay, so a lot of Americans, they get really squirrely about the term socialist and socialism, but a lot of Americans don't really know what it means. It's just kind of like a boogeyman.
You're right.
Right. But here's the thing. I have talked to people many times, especially over the last 10 years. And I've told them, I don't think that America should have political parties. And they're like, what? And I said, in history, the most socialist and or communist and or dictatorial thing that's ever been uttered in any of these countries in history is, I'm loyal to the party.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay.
This is, I think, the biggest problem we're having right now. Both parties, and I hate the fact that I'm saying both parties. I don't like there only being two parties.
I don't want any parties.
But that aside, both parties in the United States are having their problems because they're not doing their damn jobs.
No,
they should
be
not representing their
whole concept. Yeah, but the whole concept of a political party is so un-American because we've seen how it plays out in all these other nations. Like, when you have multiple parties. Yep. And we've seen it with the boomer leadership. See, I'm keeping it on topic, aged boomer.
Yep.
You see it with the boomer leadership right now because they've reached their end game. All right. The boomers have reached, if they literally keep themselves alive for another round of this, it's like crazy. They've reached the end game. But anytime you have anything to do with something where things can start to be looked at as sports teams, and this is my team right or wrong, my party right or wrong, whatever. One of them, or both,
insight,
they're both going to end up in any system, not just America, in any system. They're going to end up doing the bracket March Madness until there's only 2 left. Yep. And then those 2 are going to vie for dominance until only one is left, and that one dominates. All right. That is no way to run any country or civilization. That becomes myopic, and then suddenly people are making decisions based on March Madness rather than on what's best for the people.
That's absolutely true.
No more parties. No more parties.
I wish I could wave a magic wand and make that happen. I agree with you 100%. I will say this. I said earlier, my spectrum from staunch conservative to more middle of the road, but I honestly look at our representation in this country now, and I don't think it's liberal versus conservative anymore. We got to do away with that nomenclature.
But the only way to do that overnight is to get rid of the parties. See, that's...
Well, yes, but I mean, when we talk about them and describe them, what we're really talking about, look, we have technically, by name, the Republicans are now in control of the legislature and the executive branch. But I don't think that's a proper description anymore. I think it's the populists that are now in charge over what I call the statists. And you see that dynamic happening in the appointment hearings right now.
Right. But throughout history, and again, I'm just looking
No, you're right.
Yes. From a historical lens, I've never seen populists not become statists in an extreme way before their time is up. In other words, statists are a problem on their own, and historically, populists end up becoming statists as well, because at the end of the day, it ends up being all about consolidated individual power and consolidated individual financial gain.
Well, damn, man, that's depressing. That's like saying everything tends towards statism, and so we're screwed.
It's the Ian Malcolm argument.
Everything in the world tends towards disorder. Yeah.
Well, chaos theory.
See, and that might be why what we're looking at. We're looking at. Feel free to disagree with me, but if you do, we're probably going to go down a rabbit hole that Boomer's going to have to pull us out of.
Yes, because we have 9 more sections to get through.
Okay.
I love this. I was just going to leave a comment to distract Troy, and now here I am. It's awesome.
Now you're distracting me directly. I feel like we have an administration that doesn't give a crap anymore about for example, financial gain. I think we got a lot of people in Washington that are like, hey, if I invest in this company and then pass laws that benefit that company, I make a ton of money, And I feel like we have people like Kennedy, like Trump, that are going, no, there's serious problems with this country we need to deal with. And I'm willing to give up money and be beaten up in order to try to make those things happen.
But there's
what you're saying is, and I see it, this may or may not apply to anyone right there, but the people that follow them, right, the J.D. Vances and the Tulsi Gabbards, the younger people with them, will that power in Washington corrupt them the way? I need to do a watch party of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. I really do.
Still valid and still hasn't succeeded.
True.
Here's the thing. The 2 parties that we have, you can distill them down to this in a nutshell. Republicans as a party, I don't mean the voters, I mean the party. We're talking party, right?
Right.
The Republican Party is terminally ruthless in everything that it does because it loves the victory. It loves the win. It will take a Pyrrhic victory just to get a victory. It will burn the village down to say it won if it has to.
I want to disagree with you, but there's too much too much evidence to the contrary.
Right. And now I'm about to flip over because remember, I don't like parties. So don't worry. I'm not about to flip over and put a halo over the other one. The Democrats, their problem, they're terminally incompetent. And
yes, that's true too.
So you have a really tough scenario right now. And again, I don't know if this is going to get any better in the short term or the long term, but I'm going to say this. And after this, Netter can decide whether or not she wants to finally kick me off the stream for talking bad about Zoomers.
She's not going to do that.
But here's because I love her to death and I don't want her to not love me. Here's the deal. We have a what I feel is a wolf in the hen house right now. And I think it's because even though there might be good intentions in place with the administration that's come in, focus on America, all that kind of stuff, these people do by and large come from a very privileged background. They are the elites financially of our country. And they only associate with other people of a certain economic bracket on average. So the fact that they've let in, and I'm on record for this long before there was ever a first Trump administration, long before.
True.
I don't like Elon Musk. I don't trust him, and he is out for his own financial gain. He has done nothing short of bragging publicly about saying, I can start running the country without having to be elected because I'm so rich.
And unfortunately, I can't argue that with you because then when you look at Mark Zuckerberg, who's just kind of made a 180, it's like, well, right. But I will, and we're not going to resolve this. And I do want to give it back to Boomer so he can continue with the topic, but something to think about. Intellectual honesty, right? We believe in that, right? You might have a bias. You don't like rich people.
Well, right. But I mean, let's look at the history of rich people.
That's true. But
hey, but look what I just said, though. I didn't throw the administration under the bus. I threw Elon Musk under the bus.
Well, but arguably, if you were to generalize that, it would apply to Trump and to Kennedy. But keep in mind, they're not just rich. They're also people. And there are other things to evaluate them on. And it looks to all the world to me that at least Trump, well, you're right. Gosh, I hadn't really thought about this until you pointed it out. Elon Musk has gained more than anything. But Trump and Kennedy have lost way more than they stand to gain by what they're doing.
Here's the thing. I have no compulsion to push back on you or get into a big debate because one, I love you to death, but two, also I don't have to because history will always bear out that these types of financial elites will always eventually go one way when they take power.
I can't argue that either. And
I don't have to fight you. All I have to do is sit back and wait.
No, you're right. Mark Melnikoff, if he's still in the chat, he'll say, Troy, this is why I always say you're right, because you look to history, and history tends to bear out. History tends to repeat. So
you're putting a lot of hope in people while also acknowledging history, and I'm trying to remind you.
Well,
remember,
what choice do I have?
Well,
really,
we don't have a choice, but again, we don't also have to live in willful denial.
Well, it's still early yet, but like you said, time is going to tell.
Let's finish beating up on the boomers, though.
Well, no, I wanted to say that this is what is this a picture from? It's from a television series called 30-something. This will be replacing the Sparkwood 21. We will be doing 30-something rewatches.
No, we will not.
Yes, I'm letting. Anyway, moving right along.
Although the girl there, the blonde is kind of cute.
Oh, I did. I brought this guy up from Stranger Things. I forgot about this. The mean dad.
Yeah.
What's the character's name? The stepdad of the redhead girl. There were boomer dads like this. I would run into them with friends, so that was an accurate thing Stranger Things did.
Refresh my memory. Tell me about this character.
He was kind of abusive, but not outright. Like you saw memories of like the Chad type character, and like him getting abused, But yeah. Anyway, but I'm moving on. Let's get to the next subject. Wonder Years. Let's
Wonder
move on.
Years. I love this show.
I don't care. We're moving on. All right. Childhood without internet or cell phones.
Because he's afraid I'm going to start singing some Joe Cocker. That's what he's afraid of.
Childhood without the internet or cell phones. We were probably the last generation to not have these growing up, probably.
No, what we had was these handheld games. That's what we had.
You had the more basic ones. But there you are. You would have to go and ride your bike. Remember riding your bike?
Not only do I remember riding my bike, I remember filling my backpack with a lunch, and just like all the kind of things I felt I would need for a day of adventure. And I would hit I lived in the suburbs, so I had all of these bike trails that I could, go down and go off road if I wanted to. It wasn't supposed to, but I did. And go visit my friends in the next town. Yeah. I remember those days.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just were we better for it? Of course, then sometimes a kid might go out and might end up on one of these. Remember?
Well,
I didn't mean to make you laugh, because who knows?
Although
this cherub was
I will say, Boomer, when you get a chance, and we've already touched on this. Boomer calls himself Age of Boomer, but he's really Gen X.
I'm really Gen X. I don't feel like explaining this again.
But and this is actually the same picture that I photo edited when I did the Laura Palmer thing for Sparkling 21.
Yeah, it's like a common one online.
Yeah. Do a little search on YouTube. There's some great videos about that whole program and how screwed up it was, and how some of these kids were not missing at all.
We did have computers.
That was the start of computers, for us. That's true.
Michael, you remember those? Commodore 64? Maybe not.
Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do.
We had an Atari 800. We had the competition.
I keep saying that I had a Commodore 64, but I did not. I was special. I had the Commodore 128.
Twice as much bits.
Yeah, but it was basically the same operating system, and ran the same games, just a little bit faster.
We'd have to buy these things called magazines to find out what was going on in entertainment.
This was the internet to us, magazines.
Yeah, you didn't. That's how you found out. How did you stay like with me with video games? How did I stay abreast of what was going on? I would read magazines.
If you played a video game and you needed a cheat code, you found it in one of these magazines.
Yeah, well, that's Fangoria. That's if you were a horror buff, you'd read Fangoria. Yep. All kinds of gaming magazines.
You'd get in trouble if you brought that to school with you.
You'd get in trouble. I got into trouble for bringing Tales from the Crypt reprints to school once.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Electronic Gaming Monthly. Does anybody remember this?
Yep.
I collected a lot of those when I was growing up.
They started
especially if Lara Croft was in it, right?
I think Lara Croft ended up being in the tail end years of it, because I think 96, she was around there for a few years, and then I think it started to lose its market share, that publication.
I had a subscription to it when it finally went under and they stopped sending me issues.
Ouch.
I want to say it was sometime in the mid 2000s or early 2000s. That's probably around when it happened. I remember being annoyed because one of the editors, I could tell, did not like Nintendo. He always it was the GameCube era. Everybody was picking on Nintendo back then. Not like now where they all
who won that war?
Well, I don't know. The GameCube did not sell well. They were all about PlayStation 2. Oh, well, no. But I'm going back to this. This is what we had before the internet. It was magazines. We had computers, but no internet. I remember my dad was able to use this basic modem to talk to someone, a neighbor, over the computer. And I was like, wow. Why not just call them on the phone than having to type out? But
yeah. And I still feel this way in the business world with emails back and forth. It's like, look, if you've sent 2 emails, pick up the phone and call and just get the issue resolved. Real quick, I want to say hi to Leia Plus Size. She says,
Welcome,
"Good
Leia
evening.
Plus
Sorry I'm late.
Size.
Hope I have not missed too much." No, actually, last minute guest joined us, and I kind of got off on a tangent, and that's my fault. So you actually haven't missed most of the main topic.
All right. Brand conscious. You
I'm
know,
not even sure where you're going with this.
Well, I remember.
Is that, wait! I gotta ask Michael. Is that Tongagawa Jet Girls?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Did you do that just for me because you knew it would make me laugh?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Figures. Go ahead, Boomer.
All right.
Oh,
okay.
Gosh, man.
If you
Come
can
on.
hear,
no, that's awesome.
If you can hear me, and I'm not. What? Oh,
I love the headphones.
Okay.
There you go.
I remember Gen X being very brand conscious. Like, you had to show up to school with the right jeans, with the right
I'm not
shoes.
sure Levi Strauss was specifically the one, but yes,
I think they were an acceptable brand. I don't know if they were the best, because maybe the best would have been Jordache. I don't know.
Yeah, Jordache. Oh, jeez.
I
thought that was so douchey. I was, I grew up in the 70s, so it was Levi's.
Look, I'm doing this more from an 80s perspective because you were busy this week. Anyway, but look, I remember.
Yeah. No. You go, man. This is awesome.
Shoes.
Yeah, I remember the whole. Okay, so you brought up Reebok.
You get beat up for wearing like the store brand or cheap shoes. You would get into trouble with your peers. I remember this was a thing.
Yeah, I know that's the way it was supposed to be, but and maybe this is just, maybe I don't fit the mold of the Gen X, but my mom really pushed for the whole individualism. Be a leader, don't be a follower.
That's nice.
So when the whole Air Jordan thing came up, it's like, are they particularly more comfortable than the cheaper ones?
You didn't have to wear Air Jordans. You'd probably get props for. You had to wear a respectable brand. If you had to be careful about what you wore.
Screw it! I wore what was cheap and comfortable. I didn't give a crap.
Those are some Doc Marten boots. Those are nice, actually. I'll say that.
Doc Marten, sure.
Does no one remember this? It might have been where I grew up in New Jersey too. Let's be honest, New Jersey doesn't exactly have the nicest people in the world, and especially my part.
I don't know. Joe Piscopo's from New Jersey. The Sopranos are from New Jersey.
I came from the more.
New York. Wait a minute.
The Sopranos is the most accurate representation of New Jersey I've ever seen put to anything. It is very accurate.
It's the most accurate depiction of Italian Americans. I swear, I watched that show and I'm like, that's just like my damn Uncle Richard.
Yeah, but there you go. But the point is that I'm pretty certain that it was a very brand, and of course, what are those?
Okay, Converse? I hated these.
You hated Converse?
I freaking hated these. These were the most damn uncomfortable. Yes, they breathe really well, but they had zero arch support.
Limousines for your feet. Look at the marketing there, huh?
Yeah, you can call them limousines for your feet. They're canvas. No, they ain't.
If these are worthy of being called limousines for your feet, then does that make what Crocs, the Pontiac Aztecs for your feet? Like what?
All right. Anyway, the point was
that's actually an apt analogy.
You grew up in the Chicago area. Surely there was this kind of pressure near a big city. Come on.
Well, I grew up incredibly middle class, right? And
yes, but even when you're middle class, you got to be wearing the right stuff.
And I understand I might be an outlier. But like some of my best friends were either single parent families or whatever. We didn't have a lot. I should say, I actually was quite blessed. My dad was true middle class. He was a barber, right? So I had a father who provided. I had a mother who lived at home, right? Most of my friends had single moms, right? So they were They were broke. They were shopping at the Goodwill. So there wasn't that kind of pressure on me. I could have, had I wanted to, if I wanted to invest my mommy I want capital in things like this, I totally could have. But I didn't. I took comfortable shoes, whatever my mom got me, because I wanted to get the Luke Bespin that I actually never actually got. This is why Netter indulges me. She's like, "Oh, you want the retro figure? I'll get you the retro figure. Oh, you want the new articulated figure? I'll get you the new articulated figure."
Aeropostale, these mall stores that you go into, huh?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, I'm moving on. This might be a 90s thing I'm getting to now.
Oh, right? Yeah, you might have gotten ahead of yourself. Yeah.
Well, no, 90s is still
nerd. Yes, I was a nerd. That's true.
I want to bring up being a nerd back in the day was not fun. I don't know that it's necessarily fun now, but I know this whole celebration of geek culture did not exist.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
We
still... Yeah. Early in the Gen X, it was still very, the jocks were the top of the totem pole, and the nerds were the bottom, and we just added on the stoners and the burnouts.
Yeah. Nerd. And I just oh wait, come on.
Yeah, this is a classic one. Yeah.
Does anyone here know where that picture came from? I don't know.
No, I don't. But oh my gosh, I totally recognize the wood paneling, that dot matrix printer. I'm so glad we've gotten past those. I just gotta say,
dude, you gotta shave that off, man. Shave off.
You know how dumb it is to have a dot matrix printer under the keyboard and under your cigarette, like.
Holy shit, I didn't even catch that. Yes.
Remember, you would print out the stuff and then you'd have to kind of peel the punch.
Dude, think about this. You got a printer underneath your cigarette right next to wood paneling.
Mm-hmm. Well, wood paneling that definitely wasn't like anti-flame retardant. Like that.
No.
I had a computer. Our family had a computer back then that my dad bought. It's hard to believe, but you can look them up. It's true. We had an Epson desktop computer.
Oh wow!
I did too. Yep, I did too.
Now all they do is make printers, but back in the day they made computers for a brief moment. Yep, those sweet EGA graphics.
Oh, I remember those.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that, Doctor Who. You were not into Doctor Who. Don't even bring up Doctor Who.
What? I was totally
back in the 80s. No way. You'd be lucky if you had one guy that also watched Doctor Who.
I was.
Bring it up to the normies. Forget about it. You're dead.
Well, yes, the normies, sure, but
they were the majority in the schools.
The nerds. So I in high school. This is when it wasn't until high school that I got into Doctor Who. Full disclosure, Michael.
It was middle school.
I didn't become a true Anglophile until high school either. I met my best friend in high school was a guy by the name of Otto. He was an army brat. He spent a lot of time overseas. So he was in the UK. He was in Germany. So this is what got me out of my Yankee Doodle stupid, right? And he introduced me to Blake Seven, Doctor Who, all of the British sci-fi. And gosh, now that I think about it, it's totally because of Otto that Netter and I met. I never would have gone to a Star Trek convention if it weren't for him. I wouldn't have been into Doctor Who if it weren't for him. That's actually a pretty wild thing. But anyway, yeah, and to this day, I have, all those up through Peter Capaldi, I've got up on my shelf, so I've seen them all.
Listen to me.
And revisit them. And if Michael French over at Retro Blasting ever gets back to doing Doctor Who content, I would love to contribute if I could.
I was in middle school. I had a subscription to the Intergalactic Trading Company. They would send me
Yep.
You
Otto
might have
did
had
too.
one of those too. Yeah.
No,
back in the day.
not me. Otto. Otto
Okay.
was my hookup. Yeah.
Intergalactic Trading Company, and they had the Doctor Who TARDIS playset imported from England. $100. I scrimped and saved my allowance money for months to get this thing.
Yep.
And I got it, and it was a pentagon. Instead of it being 6 sides, it was 5 sides. You know?
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah, but it actually would. The thing would go up and down. The middle of the console would go up and down. I remember
that was one from Dapel, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dapel. I think that was.
See.
Yeah. I had a couple Cybermen. I had the Dalek, and I had Sylvester McCoy, Doctor Who. I wanted to get Tom Baker, but I don't think I ever did. That was the only other figure made available. But all right, moving on to.
Well, I had the scarf. I still have the scarf, actually.
Come on. Did you have the mug that would make the TARDIS disappear? Star Trek TNG.
Yeah.
To be fair, I will say this: toward the end of my high school in '95, TNG wasn't. I guess it was still kind of a nerd thing.
You were class of 95?
For high school, yes.
Damn, you're a lot younger than I thought you were, dude.
Wait. I thought. Wait a minute. Hold on. The last
repeated.
time we spoke, and
Yes.
he indicated his age, he made it sound like he was like post Ninja Turtle generation. Like he was just ironically using the name Aged Boomer.
Okay.
But
he is ironically using
I know. But what I'm saying is he never indicated he was older than me.
If I'm lucky enough, okay, so anyway,
we caught you. We caught you, Boomer.
I'm 47. I'm 47. Okay, I think that's old enough.
Oh, you're a kid.
He made it. Did he not, Troy, make it sound like he was like 35 the last time his age came
I'd like to be 35. That's when everything went to pot.
Well, I knew it was younger than me, but that still seems younger than me. Wow.
No,
go ahead. Just
moving on. TNG. Okay, that was a nerdy thing. It was nerdy in the beginning because that first season was pretty awful, but
the second season wasn't that
it
much
wasn't
better.
as nerdy as being the Doctor Who, though. I think Doctor Who, but I thought this first season of TNG was so awful that I got into Doctor Who because of it, because I was a big Star Trek guy at the time. And Star Trek was still current. See, the problem is I would get into things and they wouldn't be current anymore.
See, I'm trying to fill in that gap.
Yes, I know. But anyway, moving on to, what was the last big one? Is there another one on here?
Oh, yeah.
D&D.
I've told this story.
Later high school friends, I got invited to friends groups that played this. No one I knew in New Jersey ever wanted to play this.
God bless my mother.
Yes.
God bless my mother. When I said when I got into high school, I met Otto. I met a number of other guys that were into Dungeons and Dragons. I said, look, I want to get these books. I want to play this game with them. She also, because this was right around the time of Mazes and Monsters. She's like, I don't know. I said, look, come with me to the hobby shop. Look at what it is. You know me. She's like, okay, this is pretty cool. And when she looked at who my friends were, she's like, yeah, these are the kind of friends I want you to have. Okay, let's get you into Dungeons and Dragons. God bless my mother. She would when I wanted to get into something, she like this, she went all in. But she was zeal without wisdom. So she bought me this version of Dungeons and Dragons. She bought me the other version of Dungeons and Dragons, which was the basic. She bought me the advanced Dungeons and Dragons books, and these were not necessarily compatible. Mm-hmm. Or in the case of the two red books, they overlapped. I didn't need both of them. It's like having the same thing twice. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Mom, slow down. If I ask for something, put it on my Christmas list. Otherwise, don't. Mm-hmm. Right, Michael? You had to economize what you got, because if you spent too much money, you weren't going to get that Luke Bespin figure.
Right. Yep.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Boomer. Go ahead.
Anyway, but what I was trying to say is I'm bringing up these big three. These are the nerdy things. People tend to throw video games in with nerd culture. They weren't part of nerd culture when I was growing up, at least not in sophisticated parts of the country. Everybody had a Nintendo. It was not weird to have a Nintendo. In fact, what I liked about the Nintendo was I could get into something finally that other boys my age were into, and it wasn't weird. You know, I can talk. You've talked about Doctor Who. They look at you cross-eyed. It's like, no. But I also wanted to say that also other things that were geek culture they say is now like comic books. I don't even think comic books are really part of geek culture. I don't know where. I mean, maybe the comic book guy in the comic shop that could name this issue and what happened where. But I don't think it was weird for you to read a comic book growing up either. I think that was
what if you were like me and I like bought the comic books and then kept them in the plastic with the
maybe, but people did that anyway though because they thought they would resell them. So it's. I don't remember that well enough because when I got in the comic books, it was during Batman '89. Maybe that's when they became cool. I don't know.
Jeez, you were way behind the times. I was early '80s, and I was buying back issues of the '70s.
Well, it's interesting. No, I was reading old comic books, but I was reading old Tales from the Crypt comic books. I actually saved up my allowance money to buy the hardcover volumes that were released in the mid '80s of Tales from the Crypt because I wanted to read those old horror comics. What? Mm-hmm.
You'll never guess.
What?
It was a Supergirl comic.
There were worse
things. It wasn't at a comic book store. It was like at a, what we'd now call a big box store, in the magazine section. And I was like, oh, I like Superman. Maybe I'll like this. And it was like a friggin' gateway drug. Started from Supergirl. I started getting all the Supergirl comics. I got all the Superman comics.
Yeah.
Started buying back issues. Justice League.
Did you get the Superman comic that you could get by mailing in UPCs from Nestle Quick?
Yes, I did. I
remember I had that too. I don't have it anymore, but
it's basically a pulp paper reprint of Action Comics #1, right?
I remembered that. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you get two? Did you get something with the Nestle Quick money in it also? Did they give you two? I think they gave you. Tell me that Superman doesn't meet the Nestle Quick money. It was so long
ago, and I'm so full of whiskey, I don't remember.
All right, moving on. But Michael, any thoughts about being a nerd back in the day? Or maybe you weren't a nerd. I'm not even saying you were.
Well,
or maybe this classification didn't
Michael
exist
chewed a lot of the same cultural ground as we did, but he also was a world traveler, so he's got a unique perspective.
But in England, I think you could be into Doctor Who and it wasn't a problem because that was like their national treasure, right?
Oh, yeah, but I moved to England exactly in the pocket when Doctor Who wasn't around. So I moved to England.
Lester McCoy?
I moved to England less than 6 months after McCoy's run ended.
Oh, fuck.
And I left England 6 months before Dimensions in Time, the Christmas special, finally brought Doctor Who back for that one Christmas special.
Oh, well.
You probably dodged a bullet on that one.
Right.
Although if you want a copy of it, I'll send it to you.
Well, no, I've got it. I'm collecting all the Doctor Who stuff because I've been watching it.
Do you have 3D glasses to go with it?
Dimensions in Time? No.
Yeah.
No.
See, I'm trying to find, because those were like the gray clear ones.
Mm-hmm. I think we still have some.
No. We have a lot of red blue 3D glasses. That's not the kind you need for Dimensions.
I think I have a pair of the black frame gray lensed ones.
Okay, let me try it.
I'd
like to see. I know it's stupid, but I like to be a completist, so I'm a
But to answer Boomer's question, it's like, were you a nerd back then? Look at me on camera right now. Like, look at me.
Right.
I mean,
I see your.
I feel like that's another, and maybe I'm getting ahead of Boomer, but I feel like that is one element of being Gen X, is this idea of I didn't get to do a lot of things that I wanted to do as a kid, so now that I'm an adult, screw it. Mm-hmm. This is my thing. I'm going to buy the toys. I'm going to play the games. I'm going to watch whatever.
I would argue though that I can't call myself a nerd because, and I say this with all sincerity, nerds had useful skills.
like really into computers and stuff like
computers,
that.
Math, science, chemistry, like programming, all those things that really, or they were really good at things that were also useful that might not be technical, like maybe they were really good at foreign languages or something like that. I was only good at like writing and reading, but I wasn't good at anything else. So I would just, and the other thing I was good at was memorizing useless stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. I'm with
I
you on
couldn't
that.
tell you anything about remembering French, even though I needed to for a grade. But I could probably recite to you everything that was in that book at one time, that Dungeons and Dragons book. Like I knew that backwards and forwards. It was so frustrating. People didn't.
Yeah, no, I
understand
mean,
the pain.
no, you're absolutely right. It's the same with me. You know, I couldn't remember my Spanish to save my life, but Klingon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See?
You know?
See?
And I can translate it to you.
Yeah. It's like, why do I know that Lara Croft's birthday is February 14th, but I can't remember 7 academic years of French?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Like, you know. So I would say I'm more of a geek/dork than nerd.
That probably makes more sense.
What was it that you knew, Netter?
Oh, I was going to say, bonjour, comment ça va?
No, I want to know your nerd cred. What was Ilya Koryakin's, what is it?
626. Oh, it was his, he had a
service number?
Yeah, it was like a 6-digit service number. It was it 626 411? Something like that.
Do you even know who Ilya Koryakin is? You guys on the panel?
Well, yeah, of course. Of course I do.
Man from Uncle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They used to sell merchandise for that in the Intergalactic Trading Company catalog.
We have the whole... Why don't you grab that for me? I want to show it on camera.
What?
Real quick.
All right.
I got
then we got to move on.
Yes. See, this is why he's my...
Granted, we could spend all 3 minutes on one thing if you want. Let's just keep plowing through. Maybe we could always...
I don't know how...
Dusty.
It is dusty, because we haven't...
What is it?
I don't know how to make myself... Well, I guess I'll just make myself big this way.
I had the Doctor Who technical menu.
I bought this for Netter just because I love her
it.
so much. The complete series. I don't even know what's in here. There's more than just the DVDs in here.
The layer's blocking it, Troy. But you can get rid of the slides now, okay? That's just bullets.
Is the gun in there? Because you had the gun too, didn't you?
No, but okay.
I bought that separately, dear.
Troy, it was being blocked by my slideshow.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you can get rid of the slideshow because we're done. That's just some bullies, you know.
This particular slideshow is done?
This
I don't
one
know how
is
to
done.
get rid of it. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can
let
show
me go
the big
large.
thing. We'll do the next
Let me go
one.
large for just a moment so I can
Just
show
for a
off
moment.
this thing I got for Netter.
Okay, it's open. All it's in there's the DVDs.
Okay. So this is the
It's a briefcase.
briefcase of the complete series of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. It's got inside of it, it's got the DVDs
with a picture of Ilya and Napoleon in the top.
Yep. She had a thing for Ilya Koryakin, the Brit who was supposed to be British.
Actually, he's Scottish. He played Russian.
Well, okay, yes, true. But so then when he played Ducky on NCIS, well, I had to get her all the episodes of NCIS because Ducky.
Yeah, but now you've also got to buy her Mosquito Squadron.
What was that?
Dave McCallum was in Mosquito Squadron. He was also in The Great Escape.
Yep, that I knew.
that's Netter's area.
Do you know what befell David McCallum during the filming of The Great Escape? When he did interviews about it, he would always say, I don't really remember much from that time because I lost my wife at that time to Charles Bronson, who was also...
Yes, Netter has told me this story many, many, many times. This is why she can't stand her.
I don't usually use this language, but I consider Charles Bronson to be an absolute dick.
Yep. You
know,
I'm right there with you.
Wife.
Yep. Not only that, I look at the two guys. It's like, if I was a chick and I was going to make a choice between the two, come on.
Well,
what the hell?
Wait a minute. Where's the other stuff? I can't get it back. Hold on.
You have another set of slides you got to pull up, don't you?
But I already uploaded them. Where are they? How do I get the layer back?
Uh-oh.
It's in the pro scenes. Just drop it into the pro scenes.
Where's the
drag and drop?
Hold on.
This red on the left-hand side.
There it is. All right.
Sorry, Michael. We're getting used to this new platform we're in.
No. Hold on. Drag
I
and
can't
drop
help
in
you
here.
too much, Boomer, because you actually know more about this than I do at this point.
All right, hold on. Where did it go? It's like layers. I see the people's names in here. Why is this in here and not the layers?
While we're waiting for Boomer, let's make sure you guys are all subscribed to Retro Blasting. I know that most of my followers are following Retro Blasting, but I see right now in the chat. Oh gosh, I've gotten way behind on the chat. I see Nerdporial Lifeform is in the chat here. Welcome. Darkwoods. Oh yeah. Oh, the nostalgic pod
blast.
Thank you. Yes, your guest from yesterday. Created a new what's it? Yeah, no, you created a new what's it, and that took us all out of it.
All right.
You need
I
to
didn't
drop it into the pro screen we're in.
All right. Hold on.
Sorry, I do want to. Where are you? You pod blast you.
Near the bottom, dear.
I'm trying to get there.
Anyway, we may just go halfway.
See, this is why I need to get. I need to upgrade so you can bring stuff up. There you are. There you are.
And did you say hello to Charlotte?
You know what? I'm sorry, Charlotte. You were there earlier. I should have said Heidi earlier. Podblast, thank you so much for being here. Guys, go check out Netter's stream from last night. She is Michael doesn't want to be on screen. Charlotte's been here a while, and I'm sorry I haven't said hi to you sooner.
Yes, and the Nostalgic Pod Blast was my guest last night on Thursday Things.
That's what I was trying to say.
Go check out the stream, and make sure that you sub to his channel. Really great guy. And if you want to know about Blast in the past, you definitely want to check out his channel.
And we're going to get back to talking about nostalgia and being a Gen Xer as soon as Boomer. Where are you at, Boomer?
Here's the thing. I can't figure out how to even bring on it. I just don't know why. Here, hold on.
Wait a minute.
Just get us out.
So that people can.
It's getting late anyway. Maybe
no. That's true.
Yes, just get us back to where we were. All right. Sorry.
Yeah. Is there a way you could just drag and drop it into here?
It does nothing. It does nothing. It's like I click on these things, nothing happens.
Okay.
There we are. Dynamics.
Okay, well, we're back into the dynamic.
We'll just leave it here for now. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Where'd Michael go? He left us.
Oh, did he? You dropped him out by going to the dynamic because he wasn't here from the
beginning. We are.
Okay. We're back.
Well,
we're back.
Folks. Maybe we should table this and we'll do a part 2 later.
This is my designated driver. He doesn't know how the car works.
I don't.
That's the problem.
Oh, we're still getting used to this.
And Michael's just like, this is interesting.
I have no culpability here, so I'm just enjoying.
He's like, I was having more fun taking pictures of cats and fighting Italians.
No, I was not.
Okay.
No, I was
maybe
not.
that was going too far.
I'm not having.
This might be.
Check out Retro Blasting's most recent video about the circle of death or whatever it is. The seventh circle of hell. Indiana Jones in the seventh circle of hell.
That works.
I never thought I'd say this about Michael, but he's one of those channels that played a video, played a video game that I could watch so he played it so I don't have to. You know?
All chicken.
I mean, I'm just saying.
A lot of video game channels. I'm not a video game channel. A lot of video game channels now, they do the thing where they just record all their gameplay.
Yep.
Dump it into a long video and then just talk over it in another unscripted way about the game, but they don't they're what they're saying isn't syncing up with what you're seeing on screen. It's just raw gameplay.
Oh.
And I'm going like, how's that a review? You're not showing people anything. So yeah,
even saying, you know, like, okay, here I'm doing this and blah 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 blah, and this was good or this was stupid or you know,
like if whatever. I tell you I have to go off on this thing and I have to start taking photos of kitty cats, you see footage of me taking photos of kitty cats, and it's like, or hey, there's a bunch of Italian guys beating me up with clubs, and you see a bunch of Italian guys beating me up with clubs.
There are a number of channels that I support. Monetarily, right? You know, I'm a member or whatever, but retro blasting there is true value to supporting retro blasting on Patreon, because he's got some content there that he doesn't put up on his regular channel that is just friggin' priceless. It really is. When I see a comment like yeah, I spent the day taking pictures of cats and fighting fascist Italians. I'm like, okay. And then I click on the video and I laugh my ass off.
And then people have the audacity in the comments to be like, I don't think you're representing this game properly. And I'm like, you're looking at the footage. Like, that's what happened.
You know, I don't know. See, honestly,
where's the lie?
I feel like those people, they're the same people that come out and bitch and moan when you don't like Star Wars, you don't like something Disney, or you didn't like Captain Man Pants or whatever it was. They're shills that are getting paid by Disney that are coming out to destroy your channel, or at least your, you know,
they're trying to ratio you. They're trying to ratio you.
Yeah, and it's like, screw those people. Those people are the ones that let you know, instead of taking them seriously and you know, being bothered by that, take that as a badge of honor and saying, I'm doing something right here.
Yeah, what's the
because
adage?
The powers that be are getting upset.
What's the phrase they use now, where it's like, if you're encountering more enemies, it means you're getting toward the final boss or something like that. Like, it's, in other words.
Oh, I've never heard that before, but that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah. And there's another version of that where it's like, if you encounter increasing numbers of enemies, it means you're going in the right direction. I don't know if that always holds true, but like.
I know Netter asked you before, are you going to be at MegaCon this year? It's next week, basically.
Oh, well, no, I can't be there next week because one, I just found out about it, but two, we have people coming in from out of town anyway. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You may have heard me earlier talking to Gary Ambrosia. He's the one who invited us. He's like, hey, we're going to be there. You're going to be there? And Netter's like, yes, we're going to be there. And she bought the tickets, and I'm like, I guess I got to take time off work.
That's not exactly how it went.
No. I kind of truncated a lot of stuff, but that's basically what it comes out to. If you get technical.
I got an email. I got an email yesterday from a convention in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and they were saying, "Hey, has anybody from the organizers reached out to you? Because I run such and such track, and I would really like to have you as a panel guest. But if they haven't reached out to you, then I got to light a fire under their butt." And I'm like,
wait, panel guest for what?
Not sure yet.
That's even funnier.
Don't know. And they're like, I was like, I haven't heard from any officials at.
Okay, so when I talk to my chat, I say Michael French, Retro Blasting, right? I say Toy Channel, definitely Star Wars toys. Indiana Jones, he's an expert on Indiana Jones. James Bond, if you're into James Bond, that's his thing. I guess it
I don't know
doesn't.
about that.
No, I like James Bond. That was approval.
Oh no, I meant if I was the expert on it. Anyway, go ahead. Which I'm not.
No. You're one of the people I think of when it comes to James Bond. Absolutely. Obviously, history and other things, but maybe that doesn't really cross over with my demographics that much. But so basically, I guess what I'm getting at, folks, is if you're not subscribed to Retroblasting, you really should be. I mention him every other stream that I do. So.
Unless you're weak, in which case you might not want to subscribe to me if you're weak. But if you're here, you're not.
He is challenging.
Yeah.
You need to have character. You need to have strength of character.
Unlike other members of the toy community. But
yeah.
Oh, jeez, dude. I swear he has walked through hell so the rest of us don't have to. And when you describe some bullshit you're going through in some forum or some area of fandom or toy collecting or bullshit, I'm like, I totally can understand that. I'm glad I'm not there. Thank you, Michael, for going there so I know not to be there. Well, I'm not even on Facebook. So all the Facebook bullshit, I don't even see.
Yeah. Wise move. People have asked me if I'm going to jump onto other social media networks eventually because they're all cropping up like whack-a-mole. And I told them, I'm like, no. And they're like, but all the ones you're on are kind of like dead or dying. And I'm like, right. And when they die, they'll just drop off like amputated limbs. And then I'll just be on YouTube. And then everybody already knows who follows me on YouTube how to get in touch with me anyway. So that'll just be that and email. Those will be the two things.
If you check your messages.
Right, which I do. Except for I know I missed out on the thing with the whatever. Hey, but not the birthday stream. The birthday stream was allergy. I had an allergy attack. So
I was like, holy crap, what happened? Did something happen? And
no. What happens is sometimes I'll just be sitting down here working, or I'll be wherever, and suddenly it'll just start to stir up, and I don't know why. And the next thing I know, I'm literally like sneezing, and I have the neck issue.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So when I'm sneezing or coughing, it starts to exacerbate that, and then and so it just cascades. And the next thing I know,
I'm not. And chat, I'm not even just blowing smoke here. When I say subscribe to Retroblasting, he's got a lot of great content there that I think you would all find valuable. He's got some videos about, look at the hat he's wearing. He knows everything there is to know. If you're a cosplayer, if you want to know the exact right hat to wear for an Indiana Jones cosplay, for a specific movie, hell, screw that. A specific scene in a movie, he's the guy, and he's got videos up there to tell you about that.
Would it be terrible if I said I like Belloc's hat better?
No, it just means you're one of those people with that kind of taste. That's fine. You like?
Wait, guys, help me out here. What was Belloc's hat?
It was a Monte Cristi straw Panama.
Yeah, it was a nice hat. I did like that.
Okay, I see what he's saying. Okay.
I like hats that provide substance with style, not just style.
Well, he's not wrong. Netter is currently looking for a replacement for this hat.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, I'm sad that it absolutely won't come before MegaCon. But
you got to send me your address so that I can send you that gratis Rocky hat.
Oh, I'll send it to you.
Netter actually has measured my head repeatedly over the past 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because she's like, oh, I told Michael I was going to get him this.
Yeah, give me the measurement because it's brand new in the box. It's never been. It's the official super recreated one. It's never been worn by human heads.
Michael, please tell me what the value of that is so that I can reimburse you.
No, I won't.
You bastard.
The value.
You don't even know. I'm already working on your next Christmas.
See, here's the thing. depending on what measurement comes back, it might not even be worth sending it to you because I'll be like, oh, no, this would just be a waste of Troy and Netter's time.
Oh, that's a great point. I hadn't considered that. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. But if it is your size, then I'll definitely send it, and then I just pretend.
But dude, this is the funny thing. You asked me what my size is of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't a flogging clue.
Yeah.
You gotta ask Netter. Yeah.
Look, I walked into a Walmart today, and the greeter was this really cool, nice guy, and I don't know him. I was an older guy out of my area, and he was like, man, he had a cap on. He said, I'll trade you. And I looked at him and I said, what's your hat size? And he looked right at me and he goes, 7. And I'm like, see, some people who are hat hounds, they know their hat size. Like they know it, just boom, like that. And I said, I'd happily trade.
I don't even know my waist size. Netter knows that.
I was like, I'll get onto that in a minute. I was like, I'm a 7. I said, I'm a 7.5. And he goes, well, what does that mean? I said, what that means is that you have a reasonably sized head, and when I turn on profile, my head turns into a birch bark canoe. Like so, I'm like an alien xenomorph. Like it's just
right.
But yeah. So the waist size, I found this out. I feel lied to by the clothing industry because I had to measure. I had to do measurements for tailored pants from Magnoli for Dragon Con this year because I'm getting a whole new round of Indiana Jones trousers made. So I'm having to do all that, right? So
I love that. That's your thing. You are Mr. Indiana Jones. You have to have every stitch in place. Netter and I have chewed that ground, but not with Indiana Jones.
Well, I also had all of Tom Baker's outfit from Doctor Who made by Magnoli. From the first season, his original season,
fuck, man.
With the trousers and the tweed and all that.
Do you have the right colors for the scarf?
Oh yeah, Melinda used the official diagram for season 13 because that's what I chose was season 13, and she hand knitted with the correct wool. My
mom had that scarf made for me, and we had to compromise.
Yep.
Oh, see, now my mother made a Doctor Who scarf for me that we still have somewhere.
Yes.
And she followed the chart exactly.
Yeah.
What was funny is there's 2 things that are wrong about my Tom Baker scarf. 1, the colors are, we had a compromise. 2, I don't know these things about knitting, but she double stitched or something. It's denser.
Right.
It's denser than what it called for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's functionally wonderful in Midwest winters.
Yep.
Because it's warm and you can wrap it around you and you are warm. But the girl that made it for my mom said, holy crap, I used more yarn on this scarf than I would for an Afghan.
Yep.
And I'm like, yup, I get that. And I'm feeling it when you put it on me.
But yeah, I learned that a 34 pant is not a waist, is not a 34 waist. And that hurt. Because what Magnoli asked me to do, he said, when you're measuring off a garment, what I wanted to do was I finally had enough. The off-the-body measurements that I'd used over the years never really translated to the right sizing for the pants. So I said, all right. He said, you can use another pair of trousers that fit you well and just measure those in these places, and then that'll work. And I was like, okay. So he said, measure from the buttonhole, the middle of the buttonhole, all the way around to the middle of the button on the waist. Right. Well, when I did on my 34 Dockers, I was shocked to find out that it was 36.5 inches. And I said, well, hold on a second.
Yes.
Hold on. And he was like, oh, no, that's normal. He said, they actually, he goes, you are an American 34, but that's really 36 and a half. And I'm like,
yes.
What? So, yeah.
Netter's been buying me a bunch of cosplay related, type garments from China, and she's got to buy. Well, it's a crapshoot. She usually buys me 3 sizes larger than we would expect because, Chinese sizes are just all effed up. And it's like, look, I should just be able to give you my measurements, and you figure out what size that. No, that's not how it works. And every tailor has a different sizing concept. And no,
Yep.
I'm just
Yep.
Well, you know this too as a cosplayer. I'm still uncomfortable with that terminology, but
I'm not really. I buy clothes, and then those clothes happen to be able to be combined.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you can Indiana Jones. You can Klingon. I can't.
No, that's a flat out. You can make it a very durable costume, but it's a flat out like sci-fi construct.
Yes.
Like my
yes.
best.
Well, no, it's fucking armor. It's fucking armor.
Like an example, my Luke Skywalker Bespin recreated outfit. Yes, it's durable, but I can't like wear it to 7-Eleven. Like it's not something like on an average Thursday. You know what I mean? Like it's not a throw on a piece of it and go. Like it's not that kind of thing.
True.
You know, so like there is a difference between clothing that happened to become a famous outfit in combo and something that was bespoke from the ground up to be a fantastical movie ensemble. Like that's totally like the Maroon Monster from the Star Trek classic movies. Which
I did have when Netter and I met.
Yeah. Right. It's an amazing costume. Last I went to a hat maker, told him I was a size 7.5 or size 8, but he said otherwise. He measured my head and the hat he made for me didn't fit. Well, who was that and how can we get them on a blacklist?
No. I actually have, that leads me to another question. Michael, you are far better versed in haberdashery than I am. I want to get a replacement for this. Well, no, first, this hat that I'm wearing, this was my grandfather's hat.
Right.
And I want to have it refurbished. I need to find a haberdasher. I can't find any near me. I was looking for some in the Florida area. Help me out here.
Okay. So if I send you right now 2 photographs, we can answer this question for you. I have the answer. But I want to show you the evidence first.
Okay. Shoot me whatever evidence.
Okay.
Look, whatever you got.
Okay. Do I send it to Netter on Twitter?
Yeah. Right now you probably should because I'm drunk off my ass.
Okay, hold on. This is gonna be worth it. I've already got the photos here. Okay.
I knew you were the guy to talk to. Yeah.
All right. So
and chat. This is my opportunity to talk to Michael. So bear with us.
I know. If I've made your audience mad, I'm sorry.
I don't think you have. I think they're probably enjoying it. I think they'd be bitching if they had a problem, but.
Okay, Netter, I'm sending them to you in the order in which they should be brought up and discussed. There's only 2 photos.
I was literally looking for haberdashers in the Chicagoland area and in the Orlando area, and I couldn't find any. And I was like, "Fuck, man."
Okay, so this is the person you definitely need to start with, and I'm going to show you why. And I've known him for years and years and
Tell me about him. Yes.
Okay. So, Netter, can you bring up that first photograph that I sent?
Give me one sec.
Sorry to bark orders. I apologize. I didn't mean to bark.
No, dude. You are. As far as I'm concerned, you're a brother. Okay, so
I appreciate that.
So you are family. You have that level of latitude.
What I'm about to tell you is a conversation that happened tonight before I got home, okay? And the second photo you'll see was sent to me tonight. So this is fresh information, but I'm also experienced both with this person and with this process, okay? So, all right, so here we go.
If I MeWe them to you,
if you MeWe them to me, I can.
Okay, so the first image I want you to bring up, Troy, of the 2 is the one of me in the hat.
Okay.
Got it. I sent that one to him.
Netter.
Are you doing me?
Yes, I am. What am I looking at, Netter?
That's the.
Hey, check out
the link. Wait, I don't know what you're saying.
Nope. That's you.
Okay, let me try this again. What is this? Okay,
I promise everybody it's going to be worth it. It's a visual aid tour de force.
I just realized I had something open I didn't know.
It's a visual aid tour de force in only
I sent
2
you the
photos.
picture.
This is not going to be that strenuous, I promise.
What was all?
I think everybody is overestimating my abilities under multiple.
What did it involve triples?
Do you see the picture of Michael on your MeWe?
Wait a minute, I'm pulling up MeWe now. I'm pulling up you.
What is that slang for?
Oh yeah. Okay.
MeWe.
Where is this? Let me bring this up.
We're gonna get there, everyone. I have faith.
Yeah, zoom in. Okay, so
I was gonna. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Let's see. How do I do this?
How's the new Blacktron Lego set retro one they released?
What the heck?
You
talked. Yeah, I talked to Michael about it. I don't know.
I've seen it. I've seen pictures and read reviews. I haven't bought it because my money's been tied up in what you're about to.
Whoops! Sorry, didn't mean to drop anyone out. Give me a second here. Thank you, Boomer.
Okay. It's good. It's just close enough. All right. So
yeah. There we go. That's you.
So this is the very day that I received the alleged Raiders of the Lost Ark hat from the original hat shop in London. This is the one that I ended up reviewing against that German hat.
Guys, there is a video about this on his channel. Make sure you check it out. I know what he's talking about, and you will too if you go check out his channel.
Yeah, so I was, as you know from watching the video, I was massively disappointed in the hat. Was well made and it was comfortable and it was the right color and had the right ribbon, but the shaping of it was totally wrong. There was something, it was totally off. And
there is something off about it.
It looks like the kind of hat that a background extra in a Republic cereal would be wearing. Like, it doesn't look like one of those dudes that has way big shoulder pads in his suit coat. Like, so, all right. So I got squirrely about it. And I said, I'm not just going to live with this. I can't even wear this thing. I'm going to send it to John Penman in Oregon. Now, for those of you that don't know, John Penman is the guy who inherited the business from Steve Delk. Now, Steve Delk is the guy who Steve Delk made the hats for Indiana Jones 4, but he was a hatter prior to that. All right. John studied under Steve. Steve has now passed away. John owns that business. John is a genius. And he sells hats to William Shatner. He sells hats to Michael Rooker. He's like very, very well-known hat maker. Okay. But he also helps out with other hats. All right. So I sent my hat, my HJ, my Herbert Johnson, to John Penman. He sent me this photo back today. He took it apart. He reblocked it. He reshaped it. I said, I want Raiders. He rebuilt it. Now, you tell me, I know for a fact, looking at that, that's Raiders of the Lost Ark. But if you look back at the other photo, you'll finally see the difference. So my point in saying that to you, Troy, is that depending on what make. So yeah, pull it down. Look at that. That ain't Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No.
That's Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's Well of Souls. That's Ravenwood Bar. That's Hello Marion. Like, that's that hat right there.
Hello Marion.
That's the hat in Well of Souls where he looks at all those snakes coming out of the wall and he goes, like that. Like, that's that.
Yeah.
You know? So John was able to look at this other maker's hat and go, no. And he did that. He sent me that new photo tonight. He's going to be shipping that hat back to me within a few days. So my point is, if your grandfather's hat is of a solid vintage make, where it is, in other words, it's a hat that can be reshaped and re-looked at, John can do it. Now, John can tell you.
Oh, see, I don't even need it to be reshaped. I just need it to be, brushed and, just refurbished, you know.
You mean wait? So you're saying you need
no, I have no, you don't understand.
Right,
I have no haberdasher anywhere that I can find anywhere near me.
I know. I get that. So you don't need it. You don't need a complete like reblock.
No. The size is perfect.
Yeah. Well, the size stays the same when you reblock it. So unless you want to change the size, and then that becomes a bitch. But anyway, and that's where you need. Okay, what's the brand of that hat? Inside, what does it say inside?
I'm too blurry right now. Natter, you tell me.
Towncraft.
And it's from back. How far back are we talking?
Oh gosh, it's got to be from the 50s.
Oh, okay. So you need it cleaned.
Yes, probably.
Don't shout.
I'm sorry.
Huh? What happened?
No. I tend to get loud when I get excited. So
okay. So here's the thing. So if I go to penmanhats.com and I look at this and I see men's hats, renovations. A fine, well-made hat can be renovated back to former glory if you had to become dirty, sweat-stained, or lost its shape, blah, 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 blah. Full renovation. So he does like full renovations. But, you know, if you were to... or I can ask him for you. Tell you what, send me photos of that hat from multiple angles.
Yeah.
I'll send them to John and I'll say, hey, John, how would you clean this hat? Like just a cleaning, not a reblock. Doesn't need a reblock. Somebody just wants to brush it and clean it. Because I think you have to go like counterclockwise on the brim, but then clockwise on the underside because you got to go with the felt.
That's way deeper than I would have guessed, but yes, okay.
Right. And because you have a bound edge on the brim, that might require some additional care, like meaning caution, because you don't want to like rip stitches on the brim bound.
Right.
So let you send me the photos. I'll send them to. I've known John for years. John's an awesome guy. So you send me just do that. We'll get a baseline.
God,
and then maybe what it is.
I didn't mean to cause you this much grief, but okay.
Not grief. I'm thinking it through. You're hearing my math.
Okay.
All right. So
okay.
Then if all you need is just like a brush that John recommends off Amazon, rather than having to send it to anybody, we'll get you the hat brush, and then it's just here. You go like this, and then you're done. Like
Damn, man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'll absolutely. Because I'm literally wearing this hat every time I'm on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the chat wouldn't know this, but every time I go to a formal event,
mm-hmm.
And it's like, it gets dusty, and I brush it using a shoe brush,
mm-hmm.
Trying to get the dust off it. And I'm like, this isn't quite doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I need some help with this. And haberdashery is not an art that is as common as it used to be.
Right. Now, I can tell you what I've done in the past. It's never hurt my hats at all, and it was told to me by some other people. If your hat is infused with a lot of dust and lint on the surface, and the brushing isn't quite getting it out, what you can do, which is what I've done a lot, you got to be a light touch, right? You take a terry cloth washcloth. You soak it in water. Now hold on, don't panic. You soak it in water.
Yep.
And then you wring it to within an inch of its life. You wring it to the point that it is just
I'm with you.
Lightly damp, all right? And then you lightly, going with the grain of the felt, you just lightly rub it over.
That kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Because when you're lightly doing it, you're not leaving enough moisture that it's going to soak through the felt. It literally just sits on the surface and it almost
pulls up the dust.
But it doesn't really make the hat wet. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I dig what you're saying.
And that can improve things dramatically.
Okay. Good point.
You can try that. But remember,
you could vacuum it.
No, that honestly won't do it.
Bring it to within an inch of its life just to be safe. Like
no. I get what you're saying. No, good advice. Thank you. So I'm glad, and I'm using my live stream just because this is my opportunity tap the brain of the subject matter expert.
May I tap the brain of our guest
Please,
before he heads on out?
Please.
I just want to say I really enjoyed your video on movie-based games from back in the day.
Thanks.
And I had some of those same games. I had others too. Like I had Batman Returns. I bought that when it came out. I had Super Star Wars. And like you, I didn't pick up Indiana Jones because I'm like, by the time Jedi came out, I was done. I'm like, I'm not doing another one of these.
I burned out.
3 of them. Yeah, I was burned out on them at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it used later on, but I don't know if you ever had a chance to play the Jurassic Park game on either NES or Super NES.
Oh, for Super NES I did, and boy, that was a scary, weird game.
It was so weird.
It's like, I'm Alan Grant, cool. Oh God, I'm in one of these 3D situations where I'm in a dark, ruined building, and raptors can jump out at me anywhere. This sucks. Like, yeah, it was.
You couldn't save the game. I kept thinking, is there a save point or a password I get at some point? There wasn't any.
Nope. How do you finish this in one day? How do you do this? Yeah, it was.
Now you can get it in a collection, but back in the day, no. That was what I called a dud.
Yep.
The Aladdin game was pretty good on Super Nintendo.
I loved the Super Nintendo Aladdin game. I don't know why.
I have no idea what they're talking about, guys.
People bash it because the Genesis owners were always holding that one up as, see, real Disney animators worked on our game, real cell animation our game. Yeah, but Super Nintendo game was still good.
Super Nintendo game was Capcom.
Yes.
And it had perfect play control.
Yes.
Like, the play control was absolutely intuitively perfect. You could get so good with the acrobatics and that play control of that game, you would feel like a ninja before the game was over. I mean, it was
like parkour. It had like a parkour feel to it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's where they got the idea for Prince of Persia. They
didn't have any parkour in the circle of whatever the heck it was?
No. But they had Biscotti. A lot of Biscotti.
Plenty of Biscotti. Look, you're doing these Patreon videos talking about Biscotti, and I'm like, I'm turning to Netter and I'm going, damn, I fucking want some Biscotti. I haven't had Biscotti in like 3 years.
Oh yeah, there's actually a fetch quest. Go ahead, Boomer.
No, I want to hear what Boomer. What were you going to say?
I think he died.
Boomer?
I'm sorry, I'm roboting out a bit, but I wanted to say you're an Italian American and you haven't had biscotti in 3 years.
Well,
I haven't made him any. I gotta pull up my recipe book.
Yeah. She hasn't made any, and we have an Italian bakery real close to us, but I try not to go there because I'm okay. I need to. I need to lose some weight here. I still haven't lost my COVID weight, and I really, really need to. And so I'm trying to avoid it. But then Retro Blasting is talking about biscotti, and I'm like, my mouth is like watering.
There's actually a stupid quest in that game.
I know, and I'm like, this sounds so fucking stupid.
Oh my god! It's like a thing where two women are talking in the alleyways near the Vatican. They're like cleaning something, and one of them goes, "Oh, I wish I had something for lunch, like a cornetto." And then you're like, that's your signal to be like, oh, if I go bring this lady a cornetto, then I'll get like 10 points of experience or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but this is video game BS. This is not Indiana Jones at all.
No, it's not at all. I no, as I was watching your videos about that, I'm like, this is game logic. This is not movie logic. This is not Indiana Jones logic.
Right.
And this is clearly people that don't understand. And there is somebody needs to figure out the formula to make good games based on movies and good movies based on games.
Yeah, that would be a nice change of pace, wouldn't it?
Well, no, in fairness, and Boomer, you helped me out because I've almost never played the games and I've never seen the movie, but I hear Sonic the Hedgehog is pretty popular. And the people that played the game said it's good. So, I don't know. Maybe I should check it out. When just before Netter and I met, I was playing a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog a girl that I was dating, her family was real into it, and every time I go over to their house, I'd play the game, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know any of the fucking lore or any of that bullshit.
Yeah,
What about Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah. Because I never had any of those fancy smashy consoles that you had, Boomer. I don't know anything of that stuff.
Well, my brother had a Sega Genesis, so I had access to the games. He's really fast.
Theme songs. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I remember that.
It's a different style platformer. It operates on speed. It's not an exploration type
speed and go
Mario
to the
games.
Right as fast as you can. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, yes. I enjoyed them. I think they're classics. I know some people don't like them. There seemed to be this millennial thing where they started hating on Sonic the Hedgehog games, or at least millennial video game
fucking
millennials.
Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm
sorry.
No,
I'm just. I was watching a video.
Wait, is he not saying he's a millennial? See,
no, I'm not.
No, he's not.
Okay, good. All right,
he's Gen X. He's Gen X.
Right. Fair enough. Sorry, I don't want to go down this mythological rabbit hole again. All right.
Well, it depends on where your cutoff is, but yeah, exactly.
I wish Sonic was on the Super Nintendo back in the day, and we didn't have it. But luckily, Donkey Kong Country sort of filled that void. Like more of a edgier platformer than Mario on Super Nintendo, so I enjoyed those a lot. But yeah.
But from a hardware perspective, that was the Genesis advantage, was that Sonic the Hedgehog physically couldn't be brought to the Super Nintendo because of the speed.
Blast processing.
No, I know that was like their marketing thing, but in truth, the Super Nintendo had the slowdown problem with certain numbers of sprites that would be on the screen. It would become staccato. And so the Genesis did not have that issue. And that's one of the reasons that a game like Sonic was possible. Whereas on Super Nintendo, like if you play Street Fighter 2 on Genesis and then you play Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo, Street Fighter 2 on Genesis might have slightly not as good of polished graphics.
Yeah.
But Super Nintendo plays at like 3/4 speed.
It had more speed options on the Genesis version. I remember that.
And it's because you could. And I'm a Super Nintendo kid. I didn't have a Genesis, but I'm just being objective.
No, I love the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. They were both great consoles. I think I lean more toward the Super Nintendo, though, at the end of the day. But it could do shoot 'em ups really well, too. Super Nintendo could not do shoot 'em ups.
Again, the speed.
Just couldn't. TurboGrafx could, Genesis could, not Super Nintendo. No.
Hey, Boomer, did you know that on this thing, I could play both Asteroids on the arcade version as well as the 5200 version?
Wow.
I have two different versions of Asteroids on here. And I did not know that until just today before the stream, because I was effing around playing games.
How much like Henry Thomas from Cloak and Dagger do
thank you, Boomer, for my birthday gift.
Okay, you're welcome. You were mentioning...
I am in hog heaven with my Atari and arcade. Boomer did good buying me my birthday gift this year.
I wanted to Retrobus was bring up Cloak and Dagger. Do you remember that movie, Cloak and Dagger?
I don't even.
Dabney
Coleman, Henry Thomas. Kid
played. Damn, that's a fuzzy memory. I probably saw it, but I don't remember any details.
He finds out that a video game that's been pressed into his hands by a scientist who's murdered in the hallway of a shopping mall, a stairwell. He finds out that even though he thinks it's a normal Atari game, it turns out that it's got some chip in it, and the chip is like from the government or something. It's like a special code.
That sounds cool. I'm going to have to revisit that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been my first espionage movie I ever watched. That or Top Secret.
I love Top Secret. I love Top Secret.
I mean, it's hilarious, but let's not call it an espionage.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough.
I mean, Yeah, no, Cloak and Dagger. That was the one where it was just.
And speaking of these movies, guys, make sure you're subscribed to me and hit that notification bell, because on Monday nights, these are the kinds of movies that I will be doing on Monday Night at the Movies. Just saying.
Yeah.
So, Michael, you were saying though about Cloak and Dagger.
No, I was just saying that Cloak and Dagger was like the one movie that I couldn't believe wasn't really getting physical media releases in the sort of like modern era. Yep. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, if it was, well, we now know who the inferior cousin is to Cloak and Dagger.
Guys, don't even start, because those Chicago-based films. I have a place in my heart for all of those. So.
But yeah, like suddenly it just Vinegar Syndrome just said, "Hey, we're doing Cloak and Dagger Super Deluxe 4K, blah blah blah," and I'm like, out of nowhere. The next thing I know, I've got 2 copies of the limited edition for reasons I don't even know.
Look, I am relying on Tom Connors to keep me abreast of what high definition videos I should be buying, because I am so out of the. I have no idea.
I'm desperate for The Driver to get another re-release. It got a release in Europe, but not over here in North America.
There you go.
It was by the guy that did The Warriors. Yeah.
Wait, you know what? Let me tell you guys, all of you in the chat, everybody, I have been looking at like Tubi and Plex and these free platforms. Guys, really check them out and look at the video, the genres that you're interested in. There are some real sleeper hits in there that I have seen recently, and I'm going, holy crap, I never even heard of this damn movie, and this is great. I just saw a movie called crap, I don't remember what the name of the movie is, but it was about a guy who's a taxi driver, and he's caught in a time loop, and he keeps picking up this Asian girl over and over and over again. And he realizes he's in a time loop, and she's actually been in the same time loop for much longer than he has, but he only just recently started remembering it. And they're kind of falling in love, and it's a really sweet story. Don't want to ruin. I can't go any farther because it would be a spoiler. But and that's on Tubi. And fuck it, man, I can't remember the name of the movie because I'm too, to remember. But I'm just Tubi and Plex. Wait, what's the other one? Plex,
Freevee.
And, what is
Pluto?
It?
Freevee and Pluto.
Pluto's the other one.
Yes.
They got some great movies on there. Don't have great special effects, don't have great acting, but the stories are incredible. Guys, check it out. You're missing out if you're not looking into that free stuff,
Anyway, I would like to mention.
Are you agreeing with me, Michael? I thought I was like.
I'm all about watching a wide variety of things that are really obscure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Michael, do you know what I got on Blu-ray this week? I finally splurged.
Let's see. The Dallas Connection by Andy Sidaris. No. How about?
I mean, it's a guess, right?
How about Return to Savage Beach by Andy Sidaris? No. How about The Day of the Warrior by Andy Sidaris? No. How about
what is it with Andy Sidaris?
I don't know who that is.
Terrible filmmaker. Anyway,
right?
What?
I got Back to the Beach.
Oh yeah.
Paramount released that a while back. Yes.
Wait, did you get that on Blu-ray?
Yes, Paramount released it like a year ago. I've been dragging my feet on it. I finally said, "You got to buy this," and it came with a digital copy too.
I was just
and the digital copy redeemed.
Blu-ray on that. Look,
Paramount is cool.
I understand Blu-ray is
Warner Brothers
better quality, and you can fit more on the disc. But why? If you like a movie,
yeah, what?
Paramount was also trying to sell itself recently to Skydance because it was almost bankrupt. Gee, I can't imagine there's a connection between these two decisions.
And Midnight's Edge just had a video about that today. Netter, what are you?
It's a movie you're trying to think of called Meet Cute with Kaylee.
No, it was like the driver,
still looking.
I don't know, I don't remember, something like that.
No, but I do think it's great that Back to the Beach actually got a Blu-ray. I think that's awesome. There was another one that I heard about.
I may have to do a watch party of that on a Monday because that's just a damn good movie.
Happy Death Day?
No, but Happy Death Day. Guys, this is a great opportunity for me to mention. Netter and I watched Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2, and we loved them so much.
Yeah.
We are so fired up that in the next couple of years, we're hopefully going to be getting a Happy Death Day 3. It's going to be a trilogy.
Okay.
It's totally worth it.
It's like Groundhog Day, but with slasher, right?
Kinda.
Okay. I've not seen them. I have them digitally.
The nice thing is that by the end of the second movie, you're like, oh, I kind of understand why the time loop is happening. And I think the third movie is going to explore that more. It's okay. Oh my gosh, it's actually brilliant. It's one of those movies that I wish I could tell the world about, you know.
Anyway,
I get it.
I wanted to say I was very happy though Paramount gave me a free digital copy with Back to the Beach, and it worked because they don't have their digital copies expire like Warner Media does.
The one I
hate Warner Media right now. They're like my least favorite of the studios.
I've never redeemed a digital code in my life.
It's convenient. Apparently, it costs studios money when you redeem those codes. That's why Warner Brothers made them all expire.
But I get the enthusiasm, Troy. I get it because
yes, The Fair. That's what it's called. The Fair. Look it up. It's on. What did I say it was on? What platform?
You said Tubi.
It's on Tubi. Check it out. It's there's nobody in it you've ever heard of before. The acting is I think it's all blue screen. It's like a car driving in a virtual setting. Forget all of that. It doesn't matter. It all takes place inside of a cab.
Right.
This guy picking up this girl over and over again.
Okay.
I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to say any more. It's worth it.
Does it touch the heart?
Kinda, yeah. Kinda. I mean, it's definitely a love story that's at the center of it, but it's not like type of love story. It's just a good story, and it's not. Although it's a time loop type of story, it's not a sci-fi. It's more of a mythology kind of thing, and I think I may have just kind of given a spoiler by saying that.
But that's not Happy Death Day.
No, but Happy Death Day was worth it.
Right.
Check it out. That one is sci-fi.
Right.
Although you don't know it until the end of the second.
So is part 3 confirmed, or you're just hoping for a part 3?
Well, I don't confirmed in that they've got a script and it's been approved by a studio. Whether or not it actually gets made, it doesn't get made until it's released, right?
Right.
You know.
Right.
But
yeah, I get that. There's a show that I like called Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. Hilarious. It had me laughing so hard. I think I had my neck flared up because I was laughing so hard. And they had 2 seasons. And now I'm like, where's a 3rd season? I want a 3rd season. There's no confirmation. There's no announcement. But I get the anticipate. I get why you can fall in love with something enough that you want a 3rd entry, you know?
Well, speaking of laughing so hard, and this is totally off. Well, maybe it's back on topic because it's very Gen X. Those of you that remember the show Three's Company, right? If you grew up in the 70s and 80s, you remember Three's Company. It was Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and Three's Company. And I just watched the unreleased pilot of Three's Company, and I'm watching it going, holy crap, there's some things that I remember, there's some things that are different. So I had to download the original, released pilot and compare the two, and I'm like, I see the difference. I see some of the jokes that they dropped. I'm like sad that they did because they were good jokes, but they were just like one-liners. Some of the jokes that they changed, I'm like, I see why you did that. Good. But in both instances, I was laughing. I was laughing at this show like I haven't laughed at any show I have seen in the past 10 years. I laughed so hard, I had to stop what I was doing. I was laughing so hard. There are no shows. I defy you to show me a sitcom or whatever from the past 10 years that is funny enough that would get me laughing so hard I could ignore something else I was doing. Just saying. That is what I'm saying about television. I remember shows from maybe not so much the 70s, but definitely the 80s that had me laughing so hard I had tears coming down my eyes and my sides hurt. And honestly, I haven't seen anything like that since.
Well, that's what I've tried to tell my friends of my age, because it is kind of it's a weird thought transition to even think that over here on the map, here there be monsters. You don't realize that if you go over there and just kind of duke it out.
Right.
I swear to you, it's just as much of a slog as it is in American media. Like, in other words, finding stuff that doesn't suck. There's more stuff that sucks than is great, but you got to find those needles in the haystack, right? But when you find them, that's the thing about, if you find the right anime comedy, it can be situational like that. It doesn't have to be fantastical and weird. You find the right situational slice of life anime comedy, it doesn't have these modern shackles on it. It's just as daring and prioritizing the laugh over being safe or whatever. Like, it reminded me, I even said, some of these shows reminded me of some of the best movie and TV comedies of the 80s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And it's a transition because you have to get past some of your preconceived biases about certain things, and when you transition to a new genre of media. But you can find some gems in there. I've been looking at some of my friends lately, and they've been like, things just aren't funny anymore because it's too safe. And I'm like, I'm over here enjoying myself. What are you up to?
Well, real quick, I want to bring up, and I haven't seen this name in my chat before, but Pit Snipe Husker, I hope I haven't said that wrong, says, then Joni loves Chachi. I don't know what the then heroine is, but Joni loves Chachi. Let me tell you, that was a show that had a great deal of potential, didn't go anywhere, but I loved it. I love the theme song. You looked at me and suddenly, I love that show. So I'm digging what you're saying there, but yeah. And the other thing too is I'm looking to Retroblasting, Age of Boomer, and Netters Network. You guys got to rein me in because I'll go all night. Because I have
it is getting late.
Fair enough, and I don't want to upset the missus. Retroblasting. Every time you're on, I ask you to please extend my gratitude to her for lending you out to me, because I feel like I'm intruding on the family and whatnot. But
she went out for dinner with a friend tonight and came back, and she had enjoyed herself. So she's fine.
Well, she and I are simpatico on that. Let me tell you.
So no, you didn't impose upon her, infringe upon her at all. We were.
By the way, let her know.
Mm-hmm.
Although I loved her previous hair color, the blonde is kind of nice.
Well, she went gray when she was 15.
Damn. Yeah. You know, I was in high school when I saw my first gray hair.
Yeah,
myself.
she had that kind of like.
But the fact is, you know, I wish I had hair.
Well,
I
she had
color it if I
she
wanted
had that
to.
kind of like Steve Martin, whatever you want to call it, situation where her hair literally uniformly went like silver, like it just silvered out. So she colored her hair constantly, and now what she's trying to do is transition out of all that decades of coloring, because those are chemicals and everything like that.
Yeah.
So she's had to go to a kind of, they stripped out the color that was in there, and they set her with a kind of very, very, very light blonde while it grows out into its natural
She's
silver.
going for the whole like white gray.
Yeah, because that's literally been her hair color since she was in high school.
Well, tell Melinda she's doing good on that. And look, and Netter's sitting right across from me. So she'll keep me honest, but I have a type, and the blonde is the blonde is good. But I think we can agree, Michael, that you and I are two lucky guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's just face it. We're lucky. In that
we are. We absolutely are.
I watched some of your videos with Melinda, and I'm like, good on you, mate. You and me, we did good.
100%.
We did good.
100%. I think everybody here on this panel did well. You've got Netter. I've got Melinda. Boomer's got his tractor. We're all doing really well.
No. That's funny, but dude, we got to get Boomer hooked up. We really.
Oh, please. I'm fine.
No, yeah, well.
You're
fine enough.
Look how happy he is on that tractor. Look how happy he is.
Yeah. Thank goodness for AI, otherwise he wouldn't be able to be on stream. I'm sorry, I'm playing around. But there is a distinct possibility, and I may be over speaking myself because I'm drunk, but I may be, if technology works with us, we may be able to have Aged Boomer on Thursday Things next week.
We'll see. Yeah.
But not on camera.
You know what? Like, my friend chronically doesn't want to be on camera. Like, I know what he looks like, but when he's on a show, he doesn't want to be on camera. It's
right.
It's fine. I don't care.
Thank you.
And let me just say, chronically he's just good people. You have a great community.
I'd like to think so. Yeah.
No. This is how I feel about my community too. This is everyone in the chat. There is bullshit that we run into, but the people that stick with you, they're the good ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
I told you the other day, I wasn't blowing smoke. One of my favorite memories of all the years I've done retroblasting, one of my favorite memories of all time is when somehow you and I ended up being the pre-show before the Indy 5 review and the post-show, and you kind of like stuck it out with me that whole long day. That's like one of my best memories ever doing.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
That's wonderful. I appreciate that. Because look, and I'm speaking to the chat on this, you guys, Netter kind of caps it off at the end of every stream, but you guys encourage us so much with the way you support us that you inspire me to, I don't know, like, for example, go to retroblasting and just drop a $5 super chat and say, hey, hi. Look, I'm already a member of the channel. I, am on the Patreon and so forth, but I love this channel so much. I want to see it succeed, right?
Yeah,
and when you guys do that for me,
yeah, it's the same. It goes both ways because, like, I tune into, you see me in the chat all the time on Friday night. I tune into your chat because it's like, oh, thank God it's Friday night. I can finally listen to Last Call and kind of like chill out for a little while. Like,
that just blows my mind. It really does.
No,
I mean,
look, you guys are authentic, and you've always got an interesting topic or an interesting conversation going on.
Alcohol makes you authentic. Just
True, but it's also nice to see the dynamic of, Boomer getting irritated that his presentation keeps getting interrupted and Nerd trying to keep everybody on rails, and it's just a nice, pleasant atmosphere with you recognize the chairs in the room, and you recognize this is that person's chair and that person's chair and that person's chair, and it's different. It's the other day I was asked on a live stream, what other toy channels do I watch, and I was hesitant to brutally answer that question, because this better than anybody. When you have your kind of like topical wheelhouse, you're so naturally invested mentally. Your mental acuity is invested.
I'm mental, that's for sure.
Coming up with your next discussion topics and your next show and all that kind of stuff. And for me, it's the next video or whatever it is. That you tend to go to different types of channels for decompression. You tend to go to so like, I do watch Analog Toys, and I do watch Chronically Online for toy stuff. A lot of the other channels, like, so for example, sometimes like I like watching Robert's Infinite Realms, because while it's toys, it's also more like flow of conscience, sort of like thought and commentary. So it's not that. Mm-hmm. But with you guys, it's a totally different thing. It's like this is the lounge on Friday night where I can go and just
that's exactly what we were going for.
Right. That's the thing. So I just like you want to support the channels you want to see succeed. I always have wanted you guys to succeed. And so, and also, while we're on the subject of this, I might as well just say it. So, so it was between the great Michael's allergy attack that made me miss your birthday. And it's been like 3 weeks since then or whatever. But it was like last Thursday. I had kind of a low point because the indie video game video didn't do all that well, and I was like,
I saw the Patreon video.
I spent so much time. I want to tell you, I sat there on Thursday for a little bit, and I thought, should I ask Troy if I can just come on and hang out with him on Friday?
Oh, fuck, man. Do that anytime.
I really did. And then I was like, no, that's so gauche. I don't want to do that. Like,
dude. Oh, God. You would be like building me up so much.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is that's such an intrusion. Like, look what I did. Look what I inadvertently did to Boomer's presentation tonight. Like,
it wasn't you.
Okay.
Look, it wasn't you.
Boomer
it was
and I have
my
talked
own
about
things.
this many times, and I have said, there are channels, and he knows what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that you, Midnight's Edge, Tom Connors, so many others are like my my YouTube crushes. I don't know how else to say it.
They inspire you. That's what you want to say.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's like, I don't want to tap that well too much because they're, and
I did want to say that Michael does have to come on for the James Bond.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the other problem. Then I got to deal with this asshole talking about, when is Michael? I don't want to, because I know how busy he is, and I know what he's dealing with, and But yes, we do have to do part 2 of the James Bond thing. And
I was having a rare moment where I was just feeling really like I just want to go somewhere different and just hang out with some friends. And I was like, oh, tomorrow night there's Last Call. And I was like, I should ask Troy and Netter if I can be on Last Call. And then I was like,
any time would be
I was like, they've already got
would be like Christmas to
But
us.
I just thought I was like, maybe I'm being inconvenient.
No.
They've got their show planned.
Yeah.
No, any time would be like Christmas to us. It'd be like, he wants to be on our channel. No, and see, and this is, Netter knows this. I think Boomer knows this on an instinctual level. I give a flying fuck about celebrity.
Yeah, me too.
Friends, people I consider friends.
Yeah, exactly.
That are a little bit more successful than me in my area. I'm like, no. I mean, but I look at you and I'm like, you are someone I'm a fan of. Mark Hamill, fuck that asshole. But retro blasting.
Well,
he does a video where he talks about, the lightsaber, the yellow fucking lightsaber. I'm like, I am a fan to the day I die.
That's Ray's lightsaber.
Fuck Ray. And I don't even mean with your dick.
Okay.
I'm just saying. No. Yeah, Netter's going to throw stuff at me, and she's right across from me.
No, but that's the whole thing. Like when I said when I was telling you that story just now, when I said I should maybe Troy, if I just ask him, I come hang out. What I mean by that is whatever your topic is, meaning get away from whatever I was mulling over. In other words,
I get it.
This is the place you talk about. You say that channels like mine inspire you. Channels like yours comfort me. Like that's
I dig it. No, I get it. You want to get away from what you're doing and take a break. I get that.
Yeah.
And please, I know I've mentioned this before, but tell Melinda if she ever wants to join us just for the fuck of it, just to hang out.
Yep.
Just we'd love to have her.
Yeah.
You guys are good people. We want to. We're looking for an opportunity to meet up with you. If you guys are doing, I don't know, Dragon Con or something, let us know so we can make.
Yeah,
that
we are doing Dragon Con.
Netter, you want to start looking into Dragon Con whenever that is?
When is it?
It's a Labor Day weekend.
Anything that's got dragon in it, I'm going to be interested.
She's like Daenerys. Yes, absolutely.
I'm doing Dragon Con. I think Melinda's thinking about it this year. She didn't do it the last 2 years, but I accidentally, I was bringing a friend to it. I hadn't gone in several years since the lockdown, but a friend of mine came into town and he'd never been. He wanted to go, and I kind of dusted the Indiana Jones thing off, which I typically don't wear to Dragon Con, and I did that year because I just wanted to be comfortable, but also costume. And I guess I did it really, really well and added some things to it because suddenly I was like getting attention that the whole reason I disavowed doing Indiana Jones at Dragon Con was because there were so many low rent indies every year, and it was like,
I hate that.
So I would always do something else. Well, I was like, oh, well, clearly I've unlocked the code that nobody else has been able to figure out. So this year I'm already going back with this whole idea. I did a different version every day last year. So like I did 3 days of Raiders. So like the first day on Friday I did Idol Grab. Second day I did Cairo with the monkey. And the third day I did Well of Souls with the torch and the snake. Right. So because
I follow retro blasting avidly, I know exactly the scenes he's talking about. Because I am not a dedicated enough fan to know just from watching the films.
But this year, when
I drive, it's only 11 hours.
Oh my God!
That's the 16 we're doing this time.
We'll do it. When is it though?
It's Labor
Day.
When is Labor Day? I don't know. I'm too drunk.
September.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it's August 28th to September.
Let's start planning on it and tell Fuffy too, so that we can try to get him out there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But so this year I met this guy. at the show last year, and he was dressed. We were literally passing each other, and the crowds at DragonCon are huge. We were passing each other in the Marriott, and he was dressed up as Sean Connery from Last Crusade, and he was really good. Like he, you know, because with all costumes, you see the low rent ones, you see the ones where they try.
Yeah.
He was like bang on, and he had the correct case, the case in his hand with the umbrella and everything. He had it all, and he stopped me, and I was doing an idol grab, I think, and he stopped me, and he goes, "Junior," you know, and I'm like, "Hey, Dad," you know, like that. And he reaches into his bag, and he hands me a Grail diary, and then he's like, "Make sure the Germans don't get it," and then he runs off, and I'm like, and so I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" So it was wrapped in the mailer with the twine around it, and I opened it up, and sure enough, it was. What he had done is to make it possible to hand those out. He said he only hands out 5 a year. It was a holy Bible inside, and he had put inserts in it in places, not glued or anything. They were just inside the pages that were Xerox copies of some of the pages from the Grail Diary and stuff. Certain passages. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. So I was thinking about it, and I got in touch with that guy. I found him on Facebook through somebody and whatever. And I said, if I do a certain outfit next year, will you take a picture with me?
Yeah.
And he was like, what's your idea? And I said, I'm going to go as, because what I learned last year was the way to get noticed in a costume where a lot of people do low rent outfits. First, you got to do the costume really well.
Yeah.
And you pick a moment that triggers everybody's memories. You pick
a
specific moment.
Absolutely right.
Not even a scene, not even a locale version. You have to pick a moment, like a little. So I said, what I'm doing this year is I am doing Indiana Jones for one of the days. I'm going to do Indiana Jones from Last Crusade, from the very moment after he blows away all those Germans in the castle with his dad standing there, and he's got and he looks over at him and he says, "Don't call me Junior." And I've already got it photoshopped. I'm going to have a big comic book speech bubble suspended over my shoulder in the Indiana Jones font that says, "Don't call me Junior." And
when is this happening?
It's happening at DragonCon this year in September. Yeah.
Fuck, Netter, we got to be at DragonCon.
And so I have the MP40, and I've got the tie, and I've got the whole rig, and I think it's going to go over like gangbusters. I really do.
I absolutely agree. Netter and I are a little different in our mentality regarding cosplay, because we don't play specific characters,
right?
Specific scenes. Netter and I are our own Klingon characters, or when we were doing the steampunk thing, our own character. The idea is to do it so well that people are, "Hey, who are you?" Oh, no, you wouldn't know us from a movie or anything, and whatever. And they get interested in that role-playing type character, and it's like, here's our card. Follow us. You can find out more about what we do or whatever. I told Netter, because we're going to MegaCon this year, I said, I want the opportunity to meet a bunch of these YouTubers. I don't give a fuck about Mark Hamill or any of those assholes.
Right.
I'm interested in the YouTubers that are going to be there.
Sure.
That I have interacted with here online.
Right.
Wow, I get to meet them in person. Right. And when that happens, then it's like, okay. I've met people I actually care about.
Right. Right.
And from there, it's like, if this and this is the first time I'm mentioning it on stream. It's the first time Netter and I are back to a convention since COVID. So the past 5 years.
Right. Yeah.
So if that puts us back in momentum, maybe I'll relaunch my Klingon cleric channel,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And next year when I go, I'll go in my Klingon attire, and Netter will go in her. That impacts people because they look at you and they go, wow, you're not just, papier-mâché, bumps on your head. This is like Hollywood level, makeup. And it's like, yeah. And if you're interested, follow me. I'll help you out with that.
And in fact, in the local Klingon circuit, people didn't recognize me without my bumps. We went to one convention.
This is a great story, worth listening to.
Yeah,
yes,
we were checking in, and they had the programs on the table, and Troy was sitting off to the side with our bag, and my ID was in the bottom of the bag. And I go up and I'm like, yeah, I want to pick up mine and my husband's, badges and what have you. She's like, well, I need your ID. I'm like, it's in my, and at this point, I don't know what, but Troy was in a super bad mood. And I'm like,
you know how it is when you get to a convention and you've been traveling. And And
I said, my husband's in a really bad mood. I said, he's, I'm going to have to ask him for the bag. He's going to get all, it's like, and I'm just like, can you, make an exception and just give me my badge? I said, this is my name. This is his name. Well, they had this booklet for the convention sitting on the table. She goes, well, let me ask. Because I was like, we've done security for these things so many times. And she's like, well, let me ask like somebody else. So as she's going to confer with someone, I pick up one of the booklets. I'm flipping through and I see a picture in there. And when she came back, she goes, I'm sorry. And I'm like, and I turned the booklet around. I said, this is me. Can I use this as my ID?
Picture of her from the previous year in all of her Klingon attire.
And she goes, oh my gosh, that's you?
Yeah. The Klingons were like...
She was tripping over herself
trying to that year, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were." Well,
but she was tripping.
I'm gonna out Netter on this one. So Netter and I, before we got married, we were working security for a particular con. She was on the door checking. Yeah, she knows the story I'm going to tell. She's checking badges for people to come in to, how conventions go.
Yeah.
You need a badge to get into this room, right?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm sorry, I need to see your badge. And the woman was like, I'm a guest. And suddenly the head of security comes running over to her and goes, that's Susie Plaxton. She is Kalar from Star Trek The Next Generation. She's okay. Let her go. She's like, I'm sorry. You didn't. I was told you needed to have some sort of a badge. And that's when I turned to the head of security and I'm like, dude, even the guests are supposed to have some sort of, He's like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but yeah. It was so funny. And the reason she didn't recognize her was because, hey, you don't have any bumps. You don't have a uniform. I don't recognize.
Oh, no. The Babylon 5.
Yeah, okay, I'll tell that story too. So there was a convention here in the Chicagoland area. We call it the Big Bust. It was called Big Bang.
Right.
And they had all of the stars from Babylon 5. I was a fan of Babylon 5. Netter hadn't really watched the show, so she didn't know who these people were. So she's got all the promo pictures that I'm going to get signed. She gets to a woman that she doesn't recognize. She goes, I'm sorry, I don't recognize you. Can you help me out here? Which one are you? And she says, oh, that's me. It was Mira Furlan. She played Delenn. And Netter says to her, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you without the head.
No, I said I didn't recognize you with hair.
I didn't recognize you with hair. And she starts laughing. And so the gentleman sitting next to her looks and's like, what's going on? And she's like, and she, says, she didn't recognize me with hair. And he starts laughing. It was Peter Jurasik who played Londo.
Yeah.
Oh, not just Londo. He was he was in what was that Chicago-based cop show that I used to like?
Hill Street
Hill Street
Blues.
Blues.
Hill Street Blues. Yeah. So he laughed. He thought that was funny. She signed my autograph, got a picture with her, moved over to Peter Jurasek, and he's like, that was really funny. And I'm like, look, I love you as Londo, but I was a fan of yours back when you did and I told him, I said, we're from Chicago, you know, this show. He's like, oh, do you want to get a picture with me? And I'm like, we were told we're not allowed. And he goes, I'm a star. I can do whatever I want. And he pushes the seat, the tables aside. He's like, come here, take the picture. And he was every bit as boisterous and friendly as you would expect Londo to be.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, this just made my day. And he's like, no, you made my day. It's not just about this Babylon 5, which I love, he says, but, you know, you're a fan of me. And I'm like, yes. So,
right.
You know, we connected, you know? Anyway, I totally got side railed, but just wanted to share that story with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen Babylon 5?
Oh, yeah.
Do you even know? Okay, yeah.
Bruce Boxleitner.
No, please. I understand why he wants to reboot that. Please don't. It's not necessary.
I don't have any control over that, but I'll let him know.
No. I'm not speaking to you. I'm just
right.
I'm saying to
J. Michael
J. Michael
Straczynski wanted to reboot it. Yes.
Please don't. You know,
Right.
and please stay away from Marvel Comics. You fucked up Spider-Man. Stay away from it.
Goodness, was he the one that did the Doc Ock taking over as?
I don't know about that, but he's the one who did the Clone Saga. He's a dumbass in that regard. Just stick to your thing. Don't do other people's things. Is what I'm saying. Am I off base there, Michael?
No. I feel like there was something back a few years ago where J. Michael Straczynski, it wasn't directly at me, but somebody was trying to point him in the direction of something where I had made a mention of him in something. And what was it?
It boggles my mind that I consider myself friends with somebody who is a big enough, excuse the term, but celebrity to be noticed by J. Michael Straczynski.
It's never in a good way. It's always
I get that. I get
like
that,
somebody else gets pissed off. They run over and tag J. Michael Straczynski and whatever it was, and it was something to do with. It was something that he had been involved in, and I cited his involvement, and then I said that the fanboys are always using his involvement to say that this thing is perfect, but the truth is that that's not enough to save it. You know, like it was something like that. Right. And it was something like that, but like
I feel the same way about Peter David. I loved Peter David back in the day, but he's done some things and said some things that it's like, shut up and do your art. You know?
Right. Yeah.
And I feel that way about fucking everyone. Shut up and do your art. You know, if your art, if you are, I don't know, if you are Rush Limbaugh and that's your thing, okay, fine. That's fair.
Right.
But if you're not, do your thing and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And sometimes when it's people who are pundits like Rush on either side, I also want to look at them sometimes and go, is this all you got? Because
I really wish you guys. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like what was that? Who's the Italian stand-up comic? Eddie Maniscalco or what? Eddie Manis.
If he's recent, I probably don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he's got a great bit. I'll find. He's from a few years ago, but he's got a great bit where he's like, you ever driven by a place and there's like a protest going on and they got yardsticks with poster boards and it's something, you know, he's like, and you see him and he's like, he starts yelling, justice for Lindsay, you know, and he goes, And my first thought when I drive by one of those is, or I'm walking by and he's like, no job? He like meaning like he's
no. It's not only that. It's like, even if I agree with your whatever you're bitching about,
right,
you're blocking traffic.
Right, exactly.
And fuck you.
Yeah. It's like this whole thing, and I couldn't help but relate to that feeling.
Yes,
it's like, it's like, come on, you really? Like, come on.
Yeah. No. It's you're absolutely right. Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like all of this stuff, politics, the YouTubeosphere, whatever your thing is, it's like, engage your brain and understand human reality. And it's like, if you are getting in the way of life, fuck you. Even if I agree with you.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. There was a guy that went at me a few years ago. He went at me hard. I can't remember it was over the video.
You are a magnet for
it's ridiculous. And I'm
everything.
I'm not even political. Like, I'm not, so he went at me over the video.
I am maxed out in the ways that I can support your channel.
Right.
It's like every time you get, bitch slapped, it's like, how else can I support Michael French? I can send a super chat. That's about all I got at this point.
No, this guy got so mad because I think it was the Fire Hose of Fun video, Kathleen's Fire Hose of Fun. But
I love that video. Definitely check that out, folks.
It was something where I said, it was one of the videos where I said, I was talking about the industry. I think it was that one.
Yeah.
Where I said the bit about, and it's factually true, where I said,
yes,
Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars because they kept failing to break into the boys market. And so they bought those to just have the boys market already. But then they immediately started going back on old reflexes because all they knew was
changing it to Girl Boss.
The Princess Factory. They made it the Princess. So that's all I said. I didn't qualify. I just said, this is literally what happened. I mean, look at
it's demonstrably true. Yes.
This guy got so mad. Like, he was so mad. He came at me on Facebook. I don't even know who he was. Like, he found me. He was this little pipsqueak of a guy who was clearly an Indiana Jones fanboy. Like, he had the outfit and everything like that, which, again, that's not a slam. Obviously, that would be very hypocritical, but I'm trying to give you a visual. But he's the guy, what we just talked about earlier about, he didn't understand, like, boundaries. So, like, he was an armchair politico.
Yep.
Who wore his Indiana Jones outfit to all of these, like, rallies in Washington and all this stuff, and got pictures with the politicians he liked in his Indiana Jones. It was embarrassing. And it was like, he was like,
what do these two have to do with each other? Yeah.
Because in his mind, meaning if I'm him, he's saying to himself, my ownership of my fandom for this now must be in line with my views. And I was sitting back, I wasn't being political with him, but he was being political with me. And I said, dude, I'm like, what's your problem? And he's like, you're a misogynist. And I'm like, why? And he said, because you made the statement that Disney just is a princess factory. And I went, that's literally...
I'll tell you, when people say that bullshit, Netter, am I a misogynist? Do I hate women?
Fuck no.
Look, not only is the most important person... Look, I'm sorry, Boomer. I'm sorry, Michael. I would throw you both under the bus for Netter.
Okay, that's.
I don't think you had to take it there. I don't think you had to take it there. You could have just said,
no, I didn't. But I'm just saying,
maybe you'll get the opportunity this Thursday.
She is the most important person in my life.
Yeah, we get that.
She understands who I am, and if the most important person in my life says, no, you're full of shit about him being a misogynist,
Right.
Sorry, pal.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Now, if you ever tried to throw me under a bus for any reason, I would.
I would never would, but I'm
bus.
just saying.
Like I would
do one of those Indiana Jones moves and roll out of the way.
Right? Yeah, no, he probably would, and he'd be holding onto his whip, dragging behind it,
roll out of the way. Or if I was backed into a corner, it's like 6 rounds of 45, and I'm not thinking before it's over. Like anyway, point is,
fuck that game. You
were saying
reload that
boom, right.
revolver, no problem.
Okay.
No problem. But my point in saying all that
Princess
is
Factory.
This guy, Princess Factory, and I was like, I wasn't making a political statement nor a statement about culture. I was making a statement about what Disney's known for. They're known for their princesses. They have whole doll lines about, like, they pride themselves on it, and that's what they've done. He's like, no, you say all that all you want, but you're just another alt-right, blah, 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 this and this and that. And I've taken crap like this from people before, but I've never taken
And you are so not alt-right.
No.
The worst we can say about you is you are centrist.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Gun-toting tree hugger. Anyway, so it's like anyway. So point is, I've never
gun-toting tree hugger.
Yeah.
I have never heard a better expression of centrist than that.
That's what I do. That's what I say. Gun-owning tree hugger. That's what I say to totally logic loop like Captain Kirk, the evil computer.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know what to do. But with this person, what I'd never seen, I've had people come at me politicizing things that I talked about Thundercats, and then they tried to politicize. It's like, I'm talking about cartoons here, people. Right. But I'd never had somebody do that to me while also being so out front in their own social media footprint or fingerprint that they were trying to infuse their pop culture fandoms into their hyper politicized lifestyle. And it was like, wait a minute, man, you're trying to drag me into this poltergeist closet. I ain't over there with you. You're doing that, not me. Like, I'm not, I have nothing to do with that. Yeah, you did. You insulted Kathleen Kennedy. She's a CEO and a multimillionaire. She can take it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, fuck Kathleen Kennedy. She doesn't know what Star Wars is. She doesn't give a fuck what Star Wars is.
Right.
She's got her own plan, and she doesn't give a fuck.
Right. It was wild, man. And at that point, it was like, that was a turning point for me where I'm going, you know what? I think I'm even more calloused up to this than I was before, because this is ridiculous. Like,
yeah. Real quick, I want to interrupt you because I want to ask everybody who is still here in the chat, if you're not already, please subscribe to Retro Blasting. I consider him a better channel to subscribe to than me.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
No. It's true. It's true. I love Retro Blasting, so much. If you like my channel, you will love Retro Blasting. So please subscribe to his channel. Go to his channel and check out you have to drill in, but he's got merch. He's got, you can put super thanks on his chats and stuff like that. Do the things that you do for me, do for him, please.
Or just don't be angry when I accidentally send Troy down a tangent when I'm on his show. Just that's all.
Well, I don't know. I think the people that are still here, they're probably like, this is fun. Let's see what happens.
Let's hope so, because otherwise it's like there's going to be a day where Netter hits me up on Twitter DMs and she's like, so Michael, do you remember how back in the mid-30s
you derailed the whole.
Do you remember how back in the mid-30s, Michael, that the critics said that Katharine Hepburn was box office poison? Do you remember that? And I'm going to go, yeah, I think I know where this conversation's going. And she's going to say,
stop right there. Katharine Hepburn is beautiful. She is Hollywood royalty. Fuck all the rest of you.
Yes, she is. But she went through a spell where she couldn't get any hits going. And they called her box office poison. And I can see the moment where Netter's going to be like, we love you, but for our channel, you've become live stream poison.
I love that you say that, and I understand where that's coming from. Netter would never say that. Netter would say, because she and I are simpatico. How many years? 33 years?
It'll be 33 years August.
33 years married. We're like this.
Yeah.
We would rather our channel just fucking go away than betray the retro blasting brand, so to speak.
May that never happen. All right. May that.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where our heart is.
Right. Unless something happens and I get like lizard peopled or something, and the next thing you know, I'm doing like a video.
Well, in that case, Melinda will say, you know what? Forget the retro blasting thing. Just head for the hills. Okay.
Right.
Thanks, Melinda. Thank you.
Yeah. Why have the last 5 videos been Michael just eating cottage cheese out of a football helmet? And everybody's going to be like, I don't know. And
I don't know about the football helmet, but I've been eating a lot of cottage cheese myself. So
really?
I'm not...
Ew.
Seriously, I've been going for high protein lately because I'm trying to get rid of the COVID weight. So
okay, got it.
Just being serious about the joke you were making.
Absolutely, yeah.
But guys, what time is it? I can't even see clearly.
Past 1 in Florida, 1:22.
This is why, Age of Boomer, I asked you at the beginning of the stream if you had work tomorrow because
I don't.
Right. Real quick, I need to say, Michael, please, as I always say to you, please tell Melinda thank you for being patient with us and loaning you out to us.
Sure.
Because we've kept you well past. You haven't had a chance to eat, drink, nothing since you've been on
I had a late lunch with my parents when I went to visit them today, and then I'm fine.
Are your parents close to you?
Mm-hmm. They're like
I didn't know that from your streams.
They're like 45, 50 minutes away. Like, yeah.
I was just talking with Boomer before the stream. My mom is, what do you say, Netter? Minimum 8 hours away from us?
No, she's a 6-hour drive. It's 8 hours only if we take our sweet time.
I was just gonna say 6 hours if we're
and that's even stopping to get food.
The way I drive, 8 hours.
The way no, because I've driven it myself in 6, dear.
Okay, well,
and I drive slower than you.
Drive more often when we go to visit my mom, but she lives in Ohio. I live in Illinois, and
the only time it's ever taken us 8 hours is when we were super taking our time. We went like off road to check out things.
I'm just drunk enough to overshare. That what I was sharing with Boomer before the stream, my mom is not in the best of health, and I was struggling this week because she is so far away, and God bless you, Michael, that you are close with your family.
Well, my parents, not my other.
Well, okay, fair enough, but
I can tell you that
you get the spirit of what I'm saying.
Absolutely, no. With my parents, yes, absolutely.
No, my family is completely divided. My mom and my uncle live in Ohio. I have cousins that live in the South somewhere. I don't know where. I don't have any family that lives here in Illinois. You guys all know I live in the Chicagoland area, but I have no family here other than that beautiful woman that sits across from me. Anyway, so currently, Michael, Netter and I are planning on Dragon Con in September.
Okay.
Hoping to meet you there because it'll be the first time we meet face to face.
You will be disappointed, but
Fuck, you're not going to Dragon Con?
No. I mean, you'll be disappointed when you finally see me.
Oh, no.
Right now, I'm trying to just find a decent hotel there where it's got good reviews.
Oh God,
she is the godsend.
And what if you don't commit to the Dragon Con tickets until you found that?
Yeah.
And also, before you even obviously you can undo hotel reservations, but then make sure that Dragon Con has your passes for the number of days you want to go, because sometimes they literally sell out certain days.
Not only that, you secure hotel reservations before they even realize that you're there for a convention. Because that makes a difference.
Yep. They've already got con rates.
Oh, do they?
Some of them do.
And what flipping amazes me is that they charge you to park in their parking lot. Where else are you going to park?
At all. Oh my God.
Yep.
This is why, Boomer, we are driving down to Florida. Yes, we want to avoid the airfare. We want to avoid
renting a car.
Right.
But look, there is nothing that frees you up more than having your own car. If I want to buy some shit at the convention, just throw it in the car and we'll take it home with us.
And that's the thing. Right? Like, Dragon Con is such an ordeal that it may be something where you guys look at all the permutations and go, you know what? We'll do this in 2026. Like, it may come to that because Dragon Con's crazy.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But look, Michael, what it comes down to is, and I'm just drunk enough to talk about this. I'm Italian American. I'm a hugger. And I am looking forward to the day, if you are consenting, I want to give you a hug because I consider you a true friend.
Yeah. I'm just glad
and we have never met in person.
I'm just glad that I'm getting this on camera because when we finally meet,
he's going to clip this.
Because when we finally meet, okay?
Yeah.
Very likely I'll be in a full-on Indiana Jones outfit and you will be an Italian coming at me.
Yep.
And if I see a
you got to beat the shit out of me. I understand
or
that.
No, you're going to beat the shit out of me possibly. So I'm glad that I know that you are not going to be reenacting anything from that game and you're just coming in for the...
I have never played the game. I don't give a fuck about the game. Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. That's great. Now, if you shove a biscotti in my face, that I don't know how I'd react to that. Like,
Netta, remind me before we go out to Dragon Con, we got to get some biscotti because
I was joking. It was a joke.
No, it's a joke, but let me tell you, I love biscotti.
Cornetto?
I'll share it with you.
Oh, man.
When was the last... No, in all seriousness, when was the last time you had biscotti?
I can't even remember.
It's good.
Oh, I know it is. I know it is. Good. I just can't remember the last time I had it.
Forget everything you know about that game.
I already have.
And its flavor with the... I hate to say it, but that cookie, you know... Yeah. Twice baked bread. Oh, guys. Oh, you guys don't know what it's like to be Italian American.
I don't.
Well, I think a lot of you probably do. You listen to the stuff I share.
I know what it's like, just as we've talked before. I know what it's like to be Catholic and go to a convent school.
Oh, fuck, man. Yeah.
I know that.
Sister Mary Butch. You know,
yeah.
Raise Lazarus.
Yep. I'm see, so I mean,
getting my ear pulled, or when I had hair, you know, that tuft in the front. Yeah. Sister Crescentine, Sister Julita, God rest their souls. And look, I'm sorry, I apologize in advance to all you Catholics out there, but the women who took vows, the nuns, they were pure of heart, they were pure of spirit. The men that I met, the priests, not so sure.
Right.
Not so sure.
A lot of the nuns that I dealt with were really bitter and mean. I don't know what that was about, but
well, they may have run afoul of the priests. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, did you? I don't know this about you, Michael. Did you grow up Catholic?
Yep.
Oh, God bless. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I mean, I empathize. I totally do.
It gives me a direct connection to some of the stuff that when I grew up and got older, and I started really getting interested in my own stuff, and I got interested in medieval history and everything like that. I was like, oh, I've actually got like kind of a direct lineage to a lot of this stuff that's actually interesting.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
I was a fucking altar boy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I screw you not. No, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was an altar boy, Italian Catholic, no doubt about it. My mom was brokenhearted when I said, after I got married, I said, look, I'm going Protestant.
Mm.
The Catholic, the hardcore Italian Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Look, if you have a religious, and this is where I lose half of my followers. If you have a firm belief, Christian, Catholic, read your Bible, right? And if you read your Bible, you will go Protestant. And you will understand. I'm sorry, Boomer. I'm sorry. But look, not only did I grow up Italian Catholic altar boy, but look, I served as a I don't know what you call it, laity teacher in the Protestant church. Look, I've done my Bible study. Okay? And I'll go toe to toe with any Catholic at this point. Just saying, I love you, Boomer, but I'll go toe to toe with you.
Did any of you guys ever go to Sunday school?
Yep.
I went to a Catholic grade school, so I didn't have to go to Sunday school.
That was a line from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I remember the line.
Sorry, I'm too blurry to.
That's fine.
We have been streaming for 3.5 hours.
Well, keep in mind that I am now monetized.
Yes.
So that means in theory, I receive ad funding, which means I have gotten a total of 2.5 cents from how long we have been streaming tonight.
If he commits to an epic EFAP type scope of his live streams, he could go places before the blood clots.
I could make $1, and I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
EFAP is Mahler's live stream, like Mahler, the film critic.
Fuck, I follow Mahler. I have the plus sign, and I never watch his videos.
It's because EFAP is a separate channel for his live stream discussion.
Oh, I see.
And it's
what were you going to say, Nutter?
There are 14 people who are crazy enough to still be here after 3 hours.
You 14 people are, speaking of Catholic, God bless you that you're still here, because at this point it's just me, Netter, Boomer, and and Michael French just talking shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is. Let's be
Well,
honest.
What else is the internet for besides that and porn? Like, what else is it for?
The joke may
You
be
brought
on.
up the porn. I mean, it's true, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Fraser.
The joke may be on all of us.
For porn. The internet is for Avenue Q. Look into it, people. Do your Google foo. It's worth it.
Yeah,
it really is. It really is. I don't know. Just because I'm keeping Michael French up so late, screw you, Age of Boomer. You don't have to work tomorrow. You can sleep as late as you want.
I have,
but let's
Wait,
rein
what was
this.
that, Boomer?
Nothing. It's fine. What's up?
Let's rein this in.
Yes.
Let's rein this in.
he's grumpy because he lives in Florida, and it's like there's a lot of remorse with that. Like,
okay, so that brings up a great point, and I'm glad you did. Netter and I next week will be in Florida for MegaCon, and our hope is that we're going to get to meet this guy face to face. He has been my sidekick, my partner through all of this YouTube. Well, what else am I going to call it? Bullshit for years now, and we've never met face to face. I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting Aged Boomer face to face. That's what I'm looking forward to. So next week, I don't know what's going to be happening on Friday. I don't know what kind of internet connection I'm going to have. It's entirely possible that I will do a stream from MegaCon, but if not, just telling you right now, I'm at MegaCon, so I may not be able to be live. Look, I say this: 1 out of 3 streams that I do, make sure you are subscribed to Retro Blasting because I'm such a fan. Follow him. He's got some great streams coming up. So what are some of the streams I'm looking forward to on Retro Blasting? I am desperately looking forward to. He's going to do a video about the Bespin.
the freeze chamber.
Freeze chamber. That I am waiting on. Should I wait on your video to order that, or should I just Netter?
Well, we have to wait for Joe to come back online because Joe had a bunch of family drama with.
That's the thing about Etsy, right? Right.
Mm-hmm. He was ethical enough to pull his store down so that nobody was like sending him money, and then
I don't feel like anyone in my chat is crazy enough to have ordered 2 of the carbon freeze chambers.
Yeah,
like this asshole. But hold off if you are into, the Star Wars action figures. Michael's got a video coming up this year.
Yeah,
this year about an Etsy vendor, I guess, that I follow, who is doing a carbon freeze chamber, what do you call it? Bespin playset, 3D printed, kind of thing. Worth looking into.
Yep.
Netter is this close to divorcing me because I went to an Etsy vendor to buy the entire Cantina 3D printed, whatever it is, and then Hasbro comes out with it, and I'm like, I got to get that fucking thing. I got to get that fucking thing. And Netter's like, really? What are you gonna do with that thing you already bought? Well, there's other vignettes that I can do. I got to do the holiday special version. And she's like, okay, just do the thing.
frankly, I'd be happy if he got Jabba's palace and the Jawas out of my library.
Fuck. So I did the Hasbro, Pulse, Jabba's thing, and it's sitting in our front room, and it's like she wants me to get the diorama done so I can get it out of the front room.
Library.
And here I'm saying all this in front of Michael French, who's like, Troy, you're giving money to Hasbro? What the fuck's wrong with you?
I don't judge those people. I don't judge you for what you do. I only judge you if you then turn around and have regrets and then act like suddenly it's like,
no, I have zero regrets. I do exactly what I want. And look, let's take this opportunity to tie it back to the topic of the night. Right? I'm Gen X. Netter and I tried. We tried. No offspring. We tried, but no offspring. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll take my my money and I will buy the toys I want to buy because I have no children to spend my money on. And in so doing, I have started, and my regular followers already know this. I got some videos coming up this year. Custom figures that I've done, custom figures that I bought, holiday special figures that didn't exist, mainline figures that didn't exist that should have existed. Fuck you, Hasbro. Stan Solo, what's that other one? The one that does the Boba Fett firing back kick. Pro System figures. Okay. I give a fuck about Hasbro. I'll buy Hasbro if they put out something I want. If they don't, fuck those assholes. Because the fan community is doing the best work. And this is the guy that set me wise. Just saying. So I appreciate everybody who follows me, but everyone who's following me should be following this guy.
Oh, God. If you're here for, if you like the lounge and the live streams and all that kind of stuff, this is where you need to be. You won't find anything for yourself over on my channel.
Well, okay, that's fair. For the live drinking, last call, Canarble Wagon, yeah, that's my thing. But for the toy thing that I kind of dabble in, really, he's the guy I go to. Him and Tony over at
Analog.
Thank you. Well, I'm really fuzzy right now, Michael. Thank you.
I can tell, but that's okay. It's not a crime.
Yeah, I can tell. You're fucked up, man. But so let's start wrapping up, Michael. Tell the chat, what do you got coming up?
I have first I have a big video on the entire Playmobil line for Back to the Future. I'm going to be going into that in great detail. And then
I love Toymobile. If you are a 3 3/4-inch action figure type of guy, Playmobil is your only outlet for some of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying. I don't know if that's part of your video, but just saying.
I mean, I've said it in other Playmobil videos. Yeah, but it's going to be a stellar line. And then the next big one, which has been in development, and the script is almost done, and I'm almost ready to shoot, is the big Rogue One analysis. So it's all about the movie Rogue One and the Lost
Looking
Cut.
forward to that.
Yeah.
I've seen all the look. I am a what do they call it? Patreon type of guy. So I get to see all the early stuff, and I'm looking forward to what he's doing, guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for Retro Blasting. Hit that notification bell so you see when he goes live. And guys, He's got a Patreon. Check it out because I don't know, man. Retro Blasting has stuff going on that nobody else in the toy sphere does. Definitely worth it.
Thanks.
No, it's true because this dingbat does not promote himself. He really should, because it's good, unique stuff that you guys want to see. Just saying. When you see a toy video from me, I'm just kind of aping, Retro Blasting. Retro Blasting's the guy you got to follow.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
But there you go. But I am really looking forward to that Cloud City thing.
Oh yeah. That's just a little farther flung in the year.
That's the thing that I have to show Netter, kind of finesse her, maybe buy her a nice gift,
and then hope that Joe comes back.
Well, yes, no, you're right about that.
But what is it you want to buy?
So
don't worry, Netter, it's not for sale right now. Don't worry.
It doesn't matter right now. But no, I need to front load this, Michael. It's a.
You don't need to front load it. Just tell me.
Yes, it's a fan created, play set of Bespin, the freeze chamber, and all of the Bespin related.
Okay, and how much?
We don't know yet because he's not online to sell it right now, but we're probably talking, kind of like the sail barge, kind of like the
keep
the
this in
cantina.
mind. We're going to be spending between $1,500 and $2,000 for this trip we're going on.
I know.
Listen.
I know.
If we also go to Dragon Con, that's going to be another couple thousand, and you want to buy this play set.
Yes, and where would we put it? I have no idea.
You also can't buy it right now, Netter. It's not for sale.
Yeah, this is a future thing, so, but
it's going to be very future because I got to pay off these trips.
I get that. Not only that, but Netter and I are looking at, we're living in Alinistan, and we're looking at, we would very much like to move to.
You want to move to Texas, but you won't tell me where in Texas.
Maybe Texas, maybe somewhere south, So there's that aspect too. So anything we buy, we might want to have shipped wherever we're moving to. So there's that aspect too. Anyway, and then you wonder, Michael, why your fans are interested in the walkthrough of the collection and the house and stuff. That's why. It's like I don't have room for this stuff. How does Michael do it? I want to see what Michael does.
Sure. I'll get that video up soon. I hope, like within the next.
You've already got 2 videos out that I know of.
But I got to do the full. I got to show you the full thing.
God, I would love to see that stuff in person, like it was a fucking museum.
Stop swearing.
Yes, she's right. She's right. I'm going to get demonetized. She's right.
No, you're just ticking me off.
Well, there's that aspect too. But anyway, so please, everybody who's still here in the chat, make sure you're subscribed to Michael French. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Every video he does, I've watched. Maybe I'll make a commentary on it. It's in the back of my mind. I'll be talking about it. Thank you so much. Same with, look at the description below. Age of Boomer, Netters Network, everybody who supports this channel, all of you guys who have blue wrenches, subscribe to those people. They make this channel happen. So please, I'm asking you, please. If you want to support me, support them. Okay? What have we got coming up this week? Netter tomorrow night. Well, later tonight.
we'll be watching Fantastic Beasts. And where to
Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. It's not as bad as you think. It's worth watching. Link to the stream of the film will be provided in the chat. Please join us. Saturday night at 9 Central on Netters Network. Boomer, what do we got going on Sunday?
We have Geeky Geezers. Well, we'll be talking about a bunch of geeky news stuff.
Mostly gaming news, right?
I think so, yeah. So that'll be interesting.
Oh my gosh, the downfall of the gaming industry.
Well, I think that was one of the ones you sent me, yes.
I sent you a lot, yes, this week. Absolutely. I'll get that. I'll get those notes to you before we go live tomorrow. So that's Sunday. Monday, I haven't decided what to watch for Monday night at the movies. Any suggestions? Let me know. DM me or whatever. Let me know what you think would be a good film to watch for Monday night at the movies. Tuesday, Netter and I will be traveling. We'll be heading down to Florida. So we may not be available for Live from Sparkwood and 21, and there will be no Blake 7 this week. However, I'm putting myself out there. I can't promise. Don't lock me in. But I will try to get some sort of video filmed for deleted scenes to play on Tuesday for Live from Sparkwood and 21 related to Secret History of Twin Peaks. I'm not promising, but I'm going to try. I promise I will try for Tuesday. But either way, tune in to Deleted Scenes, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, for Live from Sparkwood and 21. Thursday Things on Netters Network. Not 100% certain. We will be in Florida at that point. But we will try, if we have the connection and the, what do you call it? Technical capability, internet capability to do a stream. We have a guest potentially lined up who may be there in person, maybe not on camera, but in person for Thursday Things on Netters Network on Thursday, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. We'll see. By the same token, I have no idea what's going on next week for Friday. I may do a last call from MegaCon. If I have the bandwidth, I will try. We'll see. And there's the week in review. Let me go around the horn. Michael, did I miss anything that you think I should have covered?
No, sir.
Age of Boomer.
Nope.
Netter, take us out.
I'd have to load my gun first.
No, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Well, y'all know what I is.
Yes, I do.
And for the 11 still watching, thank you for still being here. Listening to my husband rambling on.
I know. Drunken bullshit that I'm going on. Yeah,
He's more than 3 sheets to the wind. He's more like 7 sheets to the wind.
7 sheets in the wind. She's got to get me to bed.
Yeah. At any rate, we can talk amongst ourselves. But it's more fun when Michael's here.
True.
But, it is a lot more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat. And you're dropping the comments and questions and the trivia and being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room. We're enjoying each other's company, passing the popcorn, and having a great time. And you guys, you're not just our friends. you are our family.
True.
We love you guys, and we appreciate you so very much. And you could be anywhere right now, and you're still here, which amazes me that you're here after 3 hours.
Putting up with my drunken bullshit.
And I do want to thank you all for the many, many ways that you support our channels. It's not just the thumbs up or the comments, but for those who are those of us who are monetized, you have become members. You have done super chats, super stickers. You share out our streams. All of that means so very much.
Yep.
You know, even if you're a new subscriber, it costs you nothing, but it means the world to us. So thank you all for that.
See that, Michael? You need to do more of that. You know, promote yourself.
Yes, please make sure that if you haven't already, you go to Retro Blasting and you subscribe to him because he is Osmo.
And subscribe to Age of Boomer because he needs to be monetized. Yes.
We're trying to get Boomer monetized, and he's
he deserves
short.
Well, a little
he puts
bit,
up with my bullshit. He deserves to be monetized.
So until next time, which will be later on today over on my channel, Netters Network, we will be watching, as I mentioned before, Fantastic Beasts. And until then, good night and God bless.
Yep. Guys, thank you so much for putting up with my drunken ramblings, but let's face it, that's what this channel is about. And Michael and everyone else, stick with me. I will be with you in the green room after the closing credits. The closing credits, of course, are important because...
And I also want to thank Tim Hayes for dropping all the links to the channel.
Oh, Tim Hayes, you are good people, absolutely. And so are everybody that you see in the closing credits. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you on the next one. Take care.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.
The neon lights are fading, closing time is near. Whispers in the corners, secrets shared sincere. The bartender's polishing the final glass. Time slips away like moving through the grass. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, from me and you. Let's toast to the night, to the stories we've spun. Here's to the laughter and to what's begun. The shadows are dancing as we linger still. Every clink of a glass, a memory to distill. Beneath this smoky haze, our feelings they unfurl. A tapestry of whispers in this corner of the world. The jukebox serenades us with a final tune, crooning to the lonely and the lovers under the moon. With every soft note, the end draws ever near. But in this fleeting moment, there's nothing to fear. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, for me and you.